What is good, family? This is your girl. I am Courtney Michelle. Thank you so much for joining me today. I know this is rather impromptu. My spirit, my soul has been filled this past week and a half. You guys know there has been a lot going on, and I tell you, I can't get on YouTube without seeing my name and my face and my crying meme, and I just Lord, it has been a lot. I made a video. Well, first, let me before I just start going in. What is going on? I see you, Keisha. I see you, Mo. What up, TJ? Baby, I got something special for you later, TJ. What's up, world class handsome man? Welcome, welcome, welcome. BCDC123. What is good? Thank you guys for joining me. This is going to be something special. Something very special. This is going to be something of transparency. This is going to be something that we can all learn from. We call it around these parts teachable moments, but I definitely think that this stream is going to be needed and very helpful. So I'm excited about it. All right, so let's go. All right. What I'm doing today was inspired. It was inspired by two content creators, and I've clipped up a stuff, so we're going to bring up some things. One of the content creators is someone new that I've never really heard of until he made a stream about me. It was called really the Fight of the Panda Bears. But his name is Alex, and his stream and his page is called Reset Relationships. And I tagged him in this so you guys can check it out and you can see what I'm referencing. And of course, the other person that inspired it is my partner in crime. We need to talk. The man that the people are talking about as well too, Alan Obi. Those two men inspired this, and I cannot tell you the way things clicked for me this past week. And I'm always a woman that says, I don't ask why me, I ask why not me. And I always ask God to, Lord, if I'm going through something, first make sure that you give me the strength to, but also be a vessel and let your words and what you want be done through me. And he spoke a word to me, and this is why I'm talking to you guys today. I want to talk about femininity. And I think the main talking points that we get in this space, what men want, is fit, feminine, and friendly. And within the past couple of weeks, I have been trying to examine what femininity really looks like. And looking at streams and comments and videos, I am absolutely aware that we have no clue what femininity is. Not a clue. Now, for women, we can tell you and we can, list a mile long of everything that we want a man to be. But as women, we don't even understand femininity. Men, a lot of you guys don't understand femininity, and it's because we haven't seen it. Our mothers weren't feminine. They told us to be strong and to get it on your own. And so that in itself is an air of masculinity. We haven't seen it. We look at other cultures of women that show feminine traits and we try to emulate them. And we're going to get into what emulation is and what it has been in the space. But let me show you guys this. I thought it was funny, but it rings true for a lot of us. We can definitely tell you what we want in a man for sure. Based Oh, we can tell you what we want in a man, okay? We can list it a mile away. Everything, our hopes and our desires that we want in a man. Oh, we can tell you that. But then when a man asks us, look, what is femininity? What is it to you? Shout out B. Taylor. Let me tell you. She had a stream with Alan, and this is what I'm going to clip up. And she speaks for a lot of us women. And let me play this for you guys.
Provide, protect.
Okay.
Provide, protect. Yeah, it's simple. Now, what are some things that you think go along with femininity?
Nurturing. Nurturing is definitely one. Oh, wow. There's... I think just loving, nurturing. Those are some big ones.
Yeah. No, for the sake of your time and for the sake of the conversation, we'll just stick to nurturing.
That was profound to me. When asked a woman, what is femininity? All we can say is nurturing. That's it. It's nurturing. What is femininity? And as a woman, some of us have no idea what it is. We can tell you everything we want in a man, which is usually very superficial and materialistic. But when it comes to femininity, we have no clue. I've learned that in this space, we get online. A lot of us get on YouTube for entertainment, but a lot of us come in this space to be educated and to learn. Now, this weird in the time of everything is online. So no, there's libraries are not as packed as it once was. And I haven't seen an encyclopedia since 1993. So we don't have those resources anymore. Everything is on your phone, on your laptop, on your TV, where it's complete and utter access by the drop of the dime. We don't have to go out to try to learn things. And we use YouTube as a reference. And for some women, and like even a woman as myself, I got on here trying to understand men more and wanting to be what men wanted. And men get in this space sometimes wanting to learn more about women and want to see a woman exhibit what they think that they want. And we are getting it wrong. What is femininity? Let me bring this slide up for you guys. Femininity is the quality or nature of the female sex. Key word there is nature. Femininity is our it's our woman nature. We are getting it wrong on YouTube by exalting women that are not feminine necessarily in nature, but are just showing attributes of what feminine is. Do you guys understand the difference? Femininity is a woman's nature. Being feminine is having the qualities or the appearance of traditionally associated with women, such as powerful, nurturing, strong, and graceful. Those are two different things. And I don't think we understand the difference. And we damn sure don't understand how to differentiate the two. I put this up on my community post, and it was very interesting as far as with the comments. And if you can see that these are stereotypes, but of course we understand stereotypes usually have a leg of truth to it. So when you see feminine and you see masculine, feminine, not aggressive, dependent, easily influenced, submissive, passive, these are all attributes of a feminine woman. On the other side, aggressive, independent, dominant, active, worldly, these are all attributes of masculinity. So I watched Alex video on me, Reset Relationships. I thought it was extremely fair assessment. And I'm not going to go into it, but when I started thinking about being feminine and femininity, I had to reevaluate myself. A word that has always tagged on me since for almost a year has been chameleon. For the life of me, I didn't understand. And I used to ask, why the hell they calling me a chameleon? This is what I believe. I truly believe it. And I didn't understand it. I was like, damn it. I got to moonwalk. Oh, I believe this to my core. And all I'm doing is getting online and on panels, literally just saying what I believe. But there was a disconnect. And I didn't try to find the disconnect. I was just like, well, the hell with them. They call me chameleon. Fine. I'll get a chameleon sweatshirt. I'll put chameleon in my tags. I don't give a damn. And that was the wrong approach. Let me play a little Alex about why he thought I was a chameleon. You know, I have my community best interest in heart. I have our future's best interest at heart. I have the children that are here best interest at heart. It's big.
So Courtney's in a nutshell saying I don't really have black men's best interest at heart. I got basically everybody's best interest at heart, which a lot of men are upset by, and I understand because Courtney came in. Courtney got her platform basically off of pretending to be a Kevin Samuels supporter and pretending she was in the manosphere, and she thought there was all these problems with men. That's ultimately where Courtney got her base from. And now she's changing up like, well, let's, get us back together and da-da-da and blase, which is crazy because that's what Kevin Samuels was about. Nobody was talking this passport shit when Kevin Samuels was alive. But I digress. It's the new wave. I understand. Anyway, she's basically saying, I'm about black people as a whole. I'm about the community as a whole. I'm not just about black men, which I can understand why a lot of black men look at her as a Benedict Arnold because of that. Because she came in basically saying, I'm for the black men and I understand how the women are crazy. And now she's appears to be doing a 360 and saying, no, I'm about putting black men and black women together. Now, does that make her a chameleon? Yes. But do I support that message? Yeah, if I'm being honest with you. Yeah. First of all, what Courtney is suggesting was bringing the community together is a lot more feasible for 90% of black men. The vast majority of black men do not have the means to go out and spend enough time overseas to properly vet a woman, to even decide if she's not some streetwalker trying to hook up with an American because she thinks he's rich, if she's truly feminine, if she's truly submissive, if she's truly traditional, which you have to question if you're overseas.
So I absolutely thought that was an absolute fair assessment. When I came into this space, I didn't start off with a page. I was on Lapeef Network and I was on a panel of women that we were going back and forth. And I am a big Kevin Samuels. I'm under his tutelage. But when I came in this space, I didn't know the ins and outs. I came in this space thinking that this was a space that we did want to be together, that our main purpose was for Black people to be with Black people and to fix the community. And the way that I went about it on platforms, i.e. Lapeef, was trying to be right and to get my point across. It was, I am telling you this. You better listen to me. I know it for a fact. I listen to Kevin Samuels. I listen to O'Shea. The men are saying this. Y'all, women, we need to get our shit together. I wasn't being my authentic self. I was trying to push my emotions, who I was as a woman, aside because I was trying to win debates. I was trying to win to show women this is what we need to be doing and you need to listen. I was being a tad aggressive. I was being tough. I was being blunt. I was not being nurturing. Back then, you ain't never see me shed no tears, baby, okay? I was making other women cry. I wasn't sensitive. I wasn't influenced because you couldn't tell me nothing because I knew what I had to say was right. I went about it as a man, and I was toting being feminine is important. And I was coming on here with my makeup on and trying not to overtalk and control my emotions and be more logical and be more stoic to win debates. And being that hindered my true, authentic femininity, me being a woman. I wanted to win. I was saying things that was true to me and preaching a word of femininity. My actions and how I came across it was other than. It's unfortunate because, there was, let me play this because I want to make sure that you guys still understand the intent. I've never strayed about wanting better for my community. As a matter of fact, I did this video about 8-9 months ago, which ain't getting no traction. So for anyone to think that this is a nuance to me, that I want better for my community and that's what I came on for, ain't really followed me. But this is a video that I saw, and it's me saying, and me again making it very clear that I'm consistent and my goal is my goal. Girl, I knew you was going to be Black. And so now I'm raising her, of course, as a Black woman. So I'm always going to be for the betterment of my Black community. How I see it might be completely different from how you see it, but I do believe that we have one particular goal, and that's for the advancement of Black people. I do think that we give this word too much power. So I did that on about 8 or 9 months ago. So I want to be clear on that. Me being B1 is I put my community first. If someone is saying, who you fighting for, Black rights or women rights, I'm going over to the Black. That's it. And community is the needs of men, women, and children. Sisters, George, I see you, sweetheart. Good stream yesterday. I saw it. I'll get in this chameleon talk. Hi, Courtney. What is your opinion that men and women possess both masculine and feminine traits, and we tend to act on both dependently on the situation? Do we? Yes. let me put this up again. There are times that, and this is also with relationships. When you're in a relationship with someone, communication and compromise are the two key things. There is sometimes that a man might have to pull back his being blunt. There is sometimes as a woman that I might have to be a little bit more aggressive. Of course, we all hold these, but some are, let's say in a woman, more apparent. It's going to be shown more. In men, they can scale it back more. So we don't have balance. Where is the balance? Why is everything so extreme? So extreme. Let me play this.
When they're having, and I've used this analogy before. It's two types of dudes. It's a dude where his apartment is clean because he thinks better when it's clean. He likes serene spaces. Mm-hmm. And it's another dude where his apartment is clean because he's got a bitch coming over. Two different types of men.
Is that how we're addressing women?
I'm talking in colloquialisms. I don't call women bitches, but you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So with that being said, the difference that I'm making is, are you a man? Do you have these standards, these principles for yourself, or for the potential of attracting the opposite sex? Right? So when I'm talking about principled men, when I'm talking about men who are out there grinding, who are doing what they need to do, they are not doing it for female attention. They're doing it because they want to be X, Y, and Z. Now, women are going to be a consequence of that. But what keeps me going, what keeps me motivated, what keeps me persistent is because I want to be him for me before I want to be him for her. So similarly, a lot of our women, unfortunately, have drank this Kool-Aid of, I'm going to only be soft to carrot stick the shit I can get from him. But I'm not really that person.
Where did you learn that from? That women take that technique?
I interview women. So I'm having dozens and dozens of conversations with women. And when you dig into why did you do this? Why did you do that? It wasn't because that's who I am. It was because I was trying to get this dude. I was, you know, the Marshawn Lynch, I'm just here so I don't get fined. Mm-hmm. So when we talk about sustainability, it's easier to sustain something that you are. It's harder to sustain something that you're just doing because of. So when we're seeing people, like the example I gave you with the woman calling out, I flew you out, this and that. That's who she is. That's who a real feminine woman, a real soft woman wouldn't have jumped to that immediately. Like we see people when they're having, that
man always spitting some knowledge. Shout out to you, Alan. When the soft girl era came out, and there was so much pushback, and the pushback was, this is not who you are, and this is fake. And, this is, Wrench Turner would call it great value femininity, where it's not who you are authentically. And that's not what we're asking for. We don't want you to play a role to get me or to try to get me. That's a game. I want you to be your authentic self. And I want your authentic self to be a woman. And then I didn't necessarily get it because I was on the term of, well, if women start acting this way and start being more softer, then they would see the consequence of that is, getting better as far as a man, or getting, the reactions of them wouldn't be so aggressive and not being the angry Black woman. If they were trying, maybe they could see that it's better consequences of doing that than being your angry, loudmouth self. That's not sustainable. And who you are is always going to come out. You trying to be something just for a person or trying to put on a role to get admiration and likes and love and validation is not sustainable, it's not real, and it's not femininity. The power of femininity is inward. The power of masculinity is outward. Men make, men build, men provide. These are all action words. Men do things. Femininity is a state of being. It's who I am as a person. It's not what I'm necessarily doing. There's this really cool chart of masculine. Logical, confident, focused, strong, stable, clear, assertive. But that feminine woman is intuitive, generous, nurturing, creative, collaborative, receptive, grateful. It's inward of who our women, our power is. It's not outward. Masculine is logical. Me, I'm caring. And when women get in the space, and I am speaking on me, because this is my transparency, it's I believed that women should be feminine, but my spirit wasn't doing it. It was being masculine. There's no femininity sometimes when you're in a debate or sometimes trying to get a point of the need to be right or trying to be heard. The dictionary will say a chameleon, of course, is a lizard that can change the color of skin, look like colors that are around it, but is also usually disapproving. A person who often changes his or her beliefs or behavior in order to please others or to succeed. Me being a woman in this space, wanting to be a woman that learned what men is because I wanted a husband, I wanted a man, so I wanted to be that. Did I change my beliefs? No, I believed it. But my behavior, did I try not to cry on something? Yes. Did I try to be this way to win? Yes. Pick me. A girl who goes out of their way to impress boys and make them seem that they're not like other girls. Kind of like a simp for girls, otherwise known as internalized misogyny. Not the easiest to explain, but when you see one, you'll know she's one for sure. Usually does this to be accepted by boys and be considered one of the good ones. If you say one of these things, congratulations, nobody likes you. A pick me. I got called a pick me. I didn't understand it when I first got in here. Like I said, I was a newbie. I didn't know these terms. And from the first thought of pick me as a woman that wanted to get picked. And I'm like, yeah, I want a husband. Pick me. Why in the world would I not want to be? Never called myself a pick me because I'm too old. Okay. I'm too old to be labeling myself. I'm a woman. I'm not going to be like, I'm a pick me. I'm cool. Look at me. That's high school. Okay. I'm a grown woman, a mother. I got bills. I don't have time to be labeling myself. But that was a label put on me. And then just looking at what a real pick me is, it's a woman that thinks that they're better than other women. A pick me is a woman that shuns other women, just shames other women to have the spotlight. I'm not like them. I'm different. I didn't hit the wall. I didn't have a child out of wedlock. I did it right. So this is me. Look at me. That's a chameleon. Subconsciously blending in with the men around her, playing her role, and appealing to the male gaze of how women should be and act. She's not like other girls. She's a pick-me girl. And the likely reason she acts the way she does is more nuanced than some may think. Yeah, I said it. And it's true. And how I came across was this: a chameleon is a pick-me. And those two types of women, which is one and the same, it's not feminine. It's not our nature as far as femininity. Quite frankly, does more harm than good.
Within this space is the reality that, you know, some of the men who gravitate to this content, they don't know women. They don't deal with women in real life. And one of the things I said earlier today is real reptiles are cold-blooded, right? A chameleon is a reptile. Real reptiles are cold-blooded. So these women that you're pedestalizing because of their logic, because of their stoicism, you don't understand that that's the real chameleon, right? Like we talk about how when women describe their ideal guy, they're describing a female with a dick, right? There's a lot of men in this space, when they describe their ideal woman, they're describing a nigga with a vagina,
I
right?
think they
And
just
that's
don't like women.
well, it's
Not
more.
What women want from men. No, let me take that back. Women think that men are looking for a female them, which is further from the truth. There's a lot of men that think a feminine woman is a woman that thinks like them with tits. Why do you think Steve Harvey's book, Think Like a Man and Act Like a Woman, was so profound to women? Men, y'all hated it. Y'all said that we should not be reading no Steve Harvey. Think like a man, act like a woman. No. Be a woman. be feminine. The nature of a woman is what we should be, not act feminine, not think like a man. That's a chameleon. That's a pick-me. So you guys know that I've posted my amazing interviews with Shoutout Ali. I absolutely adore her. One thing that she had the ability to do is be honest and truthful, but stay graceful. She was able to keep her femininity, her grace, her dignity, and still be honest. And that's why I call her my mentor, because what we're missing is not just the message, but who she was. She always stayed a woman. She never disrespected anyone. She was honest, never did low blows. She was stayed in her feminine frame.
Put your clothes on. You ain't got to be doing all that. Have
No.
some self, respect yourself.
That's right.
Lower your tone. Learn how to shut up. Respect men for being a man, just in general. When I started doing that, when I tell you the climate in my life has changed.
Yes.
Now I be trying to tell these young ladies,
It
get
takes
it
a
together.
lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy to be other than yourself. To be hostile, to be aggressive, you know, constantly flipping up sex. It takes a lot of energy for that. But once you start being yourself, you can relax, don't you? Don't you feel more relaxed?
When I tell you, I said it feels like you take off a jacket, a
That's
coat,
right.
and you can rest, and they call it resting in your femininity. But I said you're resting in what God made you. God made
That's
you a
right.
woman.
You become being yourself instead of mimicking other people who don't have our best interests at heart.
Right. You preaching the word.
Listen, I think you're beautiful, and I think you will be blessed with everything that.
I love her. It's being a woman. And that's what we're missing it. And that's why I'm seeing a lot of the women that I see in the videos, that's exactly what we're missing. We're so focused on saying what men want to hear us say. We're so focused on trying to be right. We're so focused on, I believe this and you're going to believe it too. We're so focused on that and negating who we are as women, our true nature, our femininity. We're missing it. And that's why I missed it. I came in this space wanting not only to learn more, but to be that. What I should have done, what I am doing and what I am, is not trying to just be a woman for a man. I am being a woman. I am a woman. And I am taking off these layers of bullshit that I put on myself, not knowing a lot of things and having to relearn and recondition myself. But as I take this armor off and I become more in my nature of who I am as a woman and understanding my femininity, my power is me being inwardly a good woman, me being inwardly being more soft-spoken and understanding that my words are powerful and there is life and death in the tongue. And so when I get on the platform, my responsibility is life. I'm a life giver. I create, I multiply. So when I get on here, I have a responsibility to give you what God created me for. And He didn't create me to be argumentative. He did not create me to want to fight. He didn't create me to be non-emotional. He created me to be a creator. He created me to give life. And so what I say has to reflect what God made me. The words, how I speak to people, it has to reflect what God created me for. And if it doesn't, then it's not authentic. It'll come off as fake, a chameleon, a pick-me. Everything that those terminologies come with is because it's not authentic, because I am a woman, and those don't represent who I am. I see some of the super chats, guys. Thank you so much. I'll take some time. I see you, Stuart. Thank you so much for the love. I appreciate you. Thank you, JoJo. I love you, Courtney, for who you are as a Black woman. I can never forget you. JoJo, I love you for being a Black man. Always in the struggle with me. Thank you. Masculinity and femininity attract one another, and their attributes are complementary. However, this entails more than simply a male being attracted to a female. What actually complements the immature man who runs around or cheats or neglects his duties is the masculine woman, because he needs her to lead and to take charge of him. Immaturity is a state of need. And one of those needs is one of those needs is the need to be kept in check. Do y'all understand how powerful this is? For those women that's saying, I can't get a good man, or this man want to use me, want to do all this thing to me, check your femininity. For those men that's saying, oh, I can't get these women are doing this and that, no, they probably are. Let's check who we are. Femininity attracts masculinity. And it's not necessarily gender-based. A feminine man is going to attract a masculine woman. A masculine woman is going to attract feminine men. You want to know why Derek Jackson got all those women and the panda bears and all that? Derek Jackson was speaking to women. However, the women in his chat were masculine women. Rarely would you see a woman of, let me show my face, because this is about to be a word. Derek Jackson had full women of masculine women. He looked masculine, big, tall, dark, handsome, muscular, looked like he could pick up a whole semi. But the women that he attracted were usually older, baby mamas, strong and independent, and they adored him. Rarely did he get younger women, submissive women, godly women. They weren't over there. The women he attracted, even though he looked masculine, his message, his leadership, his home said otherwise. And the women that flocked to him was definitely not a woman that I would have or say was the nature of femininity. Same thing with women. Women might look feminine, have the attributes. They might say what men want. Look in the chats. What type of men are they attracting? These are all telltale signs. Like, I'm really giving you guys jewels, gems, buckets, everything. The Bible says you would know someone by their fruit. What are they producing? What is around them? Who am I surrounded by? These are important. Not only important by, let's just take YouTube, internet, all that out of it. When you are meeting or wanting a mate, when you're wanting a husband, when you're wanting a wife, quit looking at what they just saying to you. Look around them and what is surrounding them. Who are the people around them? If that woman got a whole bunch of single, I don't want no man woman, who you think she is? No, I am submissive. Your friend's not. Your mama's not. No, baby, I'm gonna lead you to the promised land, baby. You just call me Moses. But your homeboys ain't got no job. And on the corner on a Monday afternoon, drinking Hennessy. Oh, that's just my boys, baby. You know, but I'm going to lead you, baby. I'm going to take care of home. No, but your daddy is locked up for that. No, baby, that don't. What is surrounding you, darling, is not reflecting what you're telling me you are. So one or two things ain't making no sense. Either you're lying subconsciously or you're lying consciously, but whatever it is a lie. This is not who you are. Your surrounding is different because you are going to attract who you are, point blank, period. And the more that you grow, the better that you get as a human being, the more that those people will die away from you. They'll drop off. You stop listening to them. They won't come around. And then you start getting people around you. Yeah, I better be listening now. This is that country wisdom.
Well, she's faking or not, but I do think the tears are a little bit much, but let's continue.
We keep talking how bad black women are, but let's show some good black women.
And see, and okay, so I was right. See, she's letting YouTube get to her. She's letting YouTube get to her. And again, is Courtney switching up? Yes, but Courtney's being real. See, now that she said that, I feel like her tears are really real. Because I think the problem is Courtney came in here, right? She probably watched a couple of Kevin Samuels videos. And even though he had a rougher way of delivering a message, he really was trying to help black women. He just had to do the talk shit about him gimmick to keep his thing going. Because at the end of the day, you need a certain level of clout. You need a certain level of subscribers to be able to get through to anybody. Because that's just the way people are. Ain't going to listen to you if you don't got that. So he used that to keep the engine going. But ultimately, he said a lot of good shit. He did help a lot of women. So I think Courtney came out here and made the mistake of thinking that the men in the manosphere really want it. And not all of them, but we about to keep it a whole 100. People going to get mad at me for this, but I don't care. It's the truth. She made the mistake of thinking men in the manosphere really wanted to get with black women. Really wanted black women to be better. Really cared about them and just wanted to know what to do. The reality is most of those brothers is too far gone and they don't like y'all. And so I can see that as a black woman, even if you're getting the super chats, right, for echoing their talking points and, you know, agreeing that black women are trash and all this other stuff, I can see how mentally it will start to get to you guys. I'll be honest with you. I couldn't come out here. Now, you could talk about Derrick Jackson. All Derrick Jackson basically said was men are trash, right? And he was getting all the V-Box behind closed doors. But as a woman, women are naturally more emotional. It's no way you can really convince me, even if you're trying to be a panda bear, that you could come on these panels, you could come on this YouTube, build you a platform of men who can't stand women, who literally never miss an opportunity to shit on black women, and to try to make money by shitting on black women yourself and having black women tell you how disappointed they are in you shitting on them, because it's like, damn, sis, you're supposed to be one of us, and that doesn't get to you mentally. If you're really a caring, nurturing, submissive, feminine woman, it's going to get to you. hearing people talk shit about your race of women all the time. And being on panels where you constantly feel like, God damn, you calling us everything but a daughter of God. Constantly, every single day. I could see how that would break you down. Nah, it wouldn't break me down because I don't give a shit about YouTube. That's why I said you gotta be tougher than that. But I can understand why she's switching her content up. Guys, she's probably tired of that shit. She's not mentally strong enough to come in here and talk shit about her own sisters and not feel like, damn, I'm selling out. She can't do it. And honestly, I can respect that. I can. I'm keeping it real with you. All people might disagree with this video, but I can respect that. She can't do it. So she's like, listen, if I'm going to do this, I got to just be about bringing us both together. I can't come out here and keep shitting on my sisters like that. Because if you're not strong enough, if you don't realize this is a game, if you can't check out, it will take a toll on you. So these tears might be authentic. They might be.
He's absolutely right. He is absolutely right. It has taken an absolute toll on me. Absolutely. I did not come in here being a caricature. I did not come in this space not wanting to. I came in wanting to be transparent. Because I thought that that was what we was here for. Everybody knows that when I was on the Peeve, my contention with me and Anton was Black culture is trash. This is well documented. And I couldn't believe that there was a Black man saying that we was trash. I was like, what? Now we gotta, Jesus, be offensive. We got a whole lot of problems now. But just to be, we trash Black culture, I was like, oh, is this how we gonna be talking to ourselves? Like, no, we're not. And even with the Amira situation and B. Taylor, it was very, very parallel. And, not defending, but understanding where B. Taylor was coming from with her not wanting to talk about Black issues amongst other cultures. That was my stance with Amira, if we're going to be honest. Because I said, no, Black people, we got to work on us. One of our problems was integrating these white folks into our situation. So I'll be damned if we're going to continue to integrate their ass. We need to fix ourselves. Now, y'all know I was on cold. Now I was. And then after that, the comments that I continuously get, and then even with the passport bros or things, it's taken a toll. There is no way, I'm going to speak in general, there's always outliers, but in general, a woman that is not scared to be her natural self, a woman that is proud to be a woman, that is not trying to cover up her softness, her emotions, her caring, her nature, her nurturing, one that embraces it. This space is not built for them. And it's not. The space is not built for a lot of women that are women that want better and caring, because we're not built for everything that it comes with. And in order for a woman such as myself to be able to take the comments, the multiple videos, I have to get rid of me and my womanly self and my nature and put on an armor of defense. In order for me to get online and try to talk and have real conversations, I can't be emotional. When I say I care about children, because that's what I'm here for, I'm a nurturer, and I'm here to care for kids. And that's deemed as being selfish. What woman is built for that? I had a comment recently of a man that said, I get a joy out of seeing Black women suffer. I internalize these things because I genuinely care. And in order for me to be successful in this space, I can't care. I've always been told, JR and Anton has always told me, you can't care about those comments. You can't internalize these things, Courtney. You got to be strong. You got to have tough skin. I don't have tough skin if I'm soft. I see you guys' comments. So, the thing is about this space, as far as a woman, is you stay in the comments. I do stay in the comments, okay? I care. I came in not exhibiting what a true woman is. I came in knowing what needed to be done and being a man about it. So because I innately did give off that energy of being able to be logical and stoic, that I was able to take it as well as a man. I am not a man. I am a woman, and I'm proud to be it. And I am proud of the courage to be vulnerable. I am proud of the ability to be soft and to show it. And I am proud to say that as women, we need to do that more. This is a man's space. Our role is not to be in this space. Our role is to support it. And our support and how we do as women, it's easy. It's not me getting up here preaching and telling women what they better, shoulda, coulda, woulda done. I don't think that helps out at all. I think our role as women here, and especially women that are older and that's been through things, our job is to teach. Women's ministry often struggle with a lack of clear direction. Even in churches without an organized women's ministry, it can be hard for women to know how to encourage other women. What we need is a clear direction, a simple aim to keep in mind. Here's an excellent place to start. Older women, likewise, are to be reverent in behavior, not slanderous or slaves to much wine. They are to teach what is good, and so train the young women to love their husbands and their children, to be self-controlled, to be pure, working at home, kind, submissive to their own husbands, that the word of God may not be revived. You got it. That's Titus 2:3-5. Our role is to teach. And how we help in this problem that we're having still of us trying to be together. And for those, let me pause that, okay? Because I'm not gonna say it no more. My role as a woman in a cultivated space in which I have of like-minded Black folks that want to be with Black folks, that want to build and help the community. My role is to support the leaders, the men that are outright doing it. And how do I know what my role is or how I support? I simply ask. I don't get on a platform and say I'm helping by doing whatever the hell I want to do. If I say that I am a helpmate to a man, then all you got to do is ask. Ask the leaders, what do you need of me as a woman to help you? See, ain't nobody saying that. You a helpmate, but you ain't asked what you need, what the people need you to help with, what the leaders need. So I ask the men that I support, that I think is outright here, the Allen Obies, the Omawales, the Lord, Mr. Logic. That's my guy. Quest. I love them guys. The Chicago Rillas. My men. Hey, what you need me to help you with? How can I use my platform to help? That's what women do. We don't create shit and think we Joey badass and no. That's what we missing it. How can I help? And what I was told is you create a space to teach the women to be what we need them to be so we can marry them. You be transparent. You tell them what the yays and the nays, and then you be that too in that process. We need our Black women to be women. And we need to focus on teaching women how to be women. Tell them that being a woman is not being overly aggressive. That it's not being just an independent woman, but it's being dependent on, baby. I need you, baby. How we go get to the promised land, baby? Tell me how. And then tell me how I can use this little platform that I have to help assist. I am easily influenced. Y'all know I'll be in the comments. Tell me how you can help me not to. Well, no, don't worry, Courtney. I know you're easily influenced. I know this gets to you. And when a man sees a woman in her feminine, her true self, her woman self, let me tell y'all something. Let me get back on here because I'm going to go back. Let me tell y'all something, okay? Lord, come on, Jesus, work through me. When you are in your feminine self, when you are a woman, cut the crap. When you are a woman and you bask in your womanness, and that also is being feminine, because that's what women are. That's our nature. We just hide our nature, or we condition ourselves to be like a man, and it never works right, because then our results show something that's messed up. But when you become a woman, you don't have to fight anymore. When you are in, and that is the true power of being a woman and being feminine, is that I don't have to fight any battles anymore. I don't. Because my nature automatically attracts a masculine man that wants to. Men are protective, and they want to protect you. That's how they feel their comfort. It's them being who they are. Once you become who you are, it's easily attract men that are wanting to be that for you. I don't have to fight. I don't have to entertain internet beefs. For what? I don't have to. I just sit and be cute. Be sweet. Be kind. And then a man will come in an army, and they got your back. And Proverbs 31 woman, exactly. Amber, no. She know. It's good to see you, darling. Once we get back to what we are supposed to be, home-oriented, taking care of the home. Yeah, I'm indecisive. I am. Can't tell you how confused I be sometimes, not knowing. But that's where that masculinity comes in. That's why we do need a covering. That's why we do need a man. That's why they're important. Because we are decisive. But if you over here trying to be decisive and tough and analytical and blunt, then you're not going to get any protection, darling. You are the man. Cries a lot. Now, y'all know I shed a tear. This is because I'm emotional. Maybe overly emotional. We working on that, y'all. That's all right. But kind. We don't even talk about that. Being kind. And it's not saying being kind to the people that you only mess with. It's being kind. It's knowing that I don't have to say anything about you, even though I might not agree with you, I might not like you. But the nature of me is not one that is wanting to attack you.
Men who are insecure, because that is a thing, right? But then I would ask that woman,
There's
why
a
you
lot
with
of
an insecure
men who are
man?
very
I get
insecure.
that. And then I would ask that woman, why couldn't you attract the better quality man? So I'm not talking about that guy. I'm talking about a man who's also on his shit, a man who doesn't mind that you make more money than me, right? Why is it that your presence, your approach, your demeanor with me is inherently emasculating? There's another podcast. It's called Hardly Initiated. Of experience. The difference with a woman who tends to be uber successful when it comes to industry is, I'm gonna make this joke, but then I'm gonna make it make sense. It's the same reason why women with big titties usually have a flat ass, or women with a fat ass usually have small titties, or women with big asses and big titties tend to not have a face. Real
That's
niggas
not
know what
always
I'm
the
talking
case.
about. I know it's not always the case, but real niggas know what I'm talking about. The point is there are trade-offs in life, right? In business, we call it opportunity cost. And one of the opportunity costs that tends to happen with highly successful, highly driven, highly motivated women is typically, again, not always, they tend to sacrifice their nurturing ability. They tend to sacrifice their femininity in order to see the success that they see in industry. And again, speaking from experience, the women who tend to do a lot of cool shit, like we say, they lead with those things from a male perspective. And again, I'm not talking about men who are insecure, because that is a thing, right? But then I would ask that woman,
There's
why
a
you
lot
with
of
an
men
insecure
who are
man?
very
I get that.
insecure.
I get that. And then I would ask that woman, why couldn't you attract the better quality man? So I'm not talking about that guy. I'm talking about a man who's also on his shit, a man who doesn't mind that you make more money than me, right? Why is it that your presence, your approach, your demeanor with me is inherently emasculating? There's another podcast. It's called Hardly Initiated.
There is always going to be trade-offs in life. The positive trade-offs is, as far as being a woman, is attracting that masculine man of protection. Sometimes the negative aspects of being a woman is people consider you weak. That being a woman doesn't show that I'm strong or that I can handle it, that I don't have tough skin. The power of being a woman is I don't have to prove to be strong. The power of my femininity is that I have strong men around me. That is a peaceful place to be. I'm going to take y'all. See, I've got some people up here, and I'm going to bring you guys up. I want to give a shout out to someone. Sometimes a trade-off in being transparent in this space and being honest is that you don't get the likes and views and the subs. Sometimes the women in this space that we all should be learning from doesn't have a bigger voice. So I want to, before I do, I want to shout out somebody really quick. This is someone that I think we all need to, as far as with women, learn from, because she's been there and done that. A woman that has shown to not only be an amazing mom because her daughter now is married with a beautiful grandchild, but she's military, she's a vet, she protected our country. But the ways that she was able to protect and be successful was not giving her the effects of being a wife. And so what she learned through Kevin Samuels is the outcomes that I'm getting by being masculine, it's not what I want. So I took off my armor and I became the woman that God ordained me to be. And even at 50, I found my husband. My husband found me. She has a platform that is not just talking about Black women, but health, our hair, appreciating our men, appreciating our husband. She's teaching. What God told us we need to be doing is teaching the younger. She's teaching. So, my darling, I want to say, TJ Randolph, thank you for being the example of what we need to be doing in this space is teaching not only our faults, but our wins, and doing it with grace. That's what we need to see more of. Hey, TJ.
I'm so mad at you right now.
You mad at me? Why are you mad at me?
That was. Thank you.
Oh, shit. Well, I love you. And you deserve it. You absolutely deserve it.
I'm going to get you. I really, because see, I'm retired. I can fly out.
You do.
I appreciate it. I thank you.
You, your words, what you put for everyone to see. You put yourself, your family, your daughter, your husband, your dad, for us all to learn. You are teaching, and your words are important. And don't you ever let anyone tell you that you're not important, that what you say doesn't matter, because it does. And even though you might not think no one's listening, we are. I am. I reference what you have to say. And I thank you for through it all. You've been there. And I thank you so much.
Wow. Well, I came up to show support. I had no idea you were going to, grow me like this, but I just wanted to say that I try because I know the pain of wishing, hoping, and thinking that you won't have. I know the pain of crying to my girlfriend. I remember when I got married, we've been friends since we met in 2000. And she had seen me through many relationships. And I kept saying, it's never going to happen for me. It's never going to happen for me. And she's been married 30 plus years. She kept saying, it's going to happen, sis. It's going to happen, sis. And I'm like, it's not going to ever happen for me. But I realized the reason it wasn't happening for me because I still had work to do. And if I hadn't done the work, I wouldn't have noticed him when I saw him. You're so right that and my baby's calling me right now. I gotta let him know I'll come right back. That it is a wonderful thing not to feel like you have to fight it. I mean, y'all talk about that Sophia thing. All my life I had to fight. It's a meme, but that shit is true.
Yeah.
This is true. And you become so accustomed to fighting, you don't know what it's like not to. And until you start going to do the work to figure, well, why am I fighting even when I don't have to? So once I finally did that and started to learn, and even listening to my mom who made the mistakes that she was trying to prevent me from making, I was able to course correct. So I am trying to help the young women to learn from my mistakes, as well as learning from my daughter, who told you all she learned how to work hard from her mother, but she didn't learn how to cooperate with a man with her mother because she never saw it.
Yeah.
So there are opportunities here, and nobody gets it right. And it is my prayer. I mean, I know it is not probable for most women after a certain age, but is it possible? Yes. And it is my prayer that with channels like yours and others, and we talk to each other and we try to, learn so we know what to look for, because the truth of the matter is a lot of us picking wrong because we didn't feel that we were worthy. And that's just the bottom line. I know that was my case. And I don't want to go into it, but I just want to thank you. Thank you for that. That was unexpected, and I'm glad, because I'm looking really ugly right now. I was doing my cornrows, and then so I had my hair looking foolish and crying. That is not a good look. So,
oh Lord, when you talking about all my life I had to fight, you over there looking like all your life you had to fight, baby.
Exactly. And one last thing, Mr. Randolph said we were going to run an errand. We were talking about a song came on, said "Forever, Forever," and he said, "I got my forever, forever."
Come on now, come on, Mr.
Randolph.
He
said, "I've driven a lot of miles, because y'all know my baby's a truck driver." He said, "I drove a lot of miles to find you."
Yeah.
And I said, "I was here." So y'all have a wonderful day, and thank you for having me, hon.
Thank you. Love you, TJ.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Y'all better give the people that are important to you, give them their flowers now. Let me get to some of the super chats, and then I'm going to get to some of the calls that I have in the back. I appreciate you kicking it with Killa. Rome wasn't built in a day. You're on your way. You're taking the criticism along, doing self-reflection and growing. Much respect. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And yes, I'm going to forever be growing. Forever. Courtney is, oh, my Nigerian brother in the UK. That is the most amazing documentarian that I have met in my life. Courtney is beautiful, preaching sister. Thank you so much. You guys, I did a documentary. I did a show with him about the Dahomey tribe. It took me back to college. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. Our pain, I see you. The Democratic Party, feminist rainbows, and a fair amount of sisters have arrows. Happy to see the community crushed. Is there actually a way to fix that? How many years? What's critical mass? Well, we'll discuss that. I don't know if I'm going to do that right now. Is there a way to fix it? Absolutely. And like before, Rome wasn't built in a day. We're not going to get there in a day. And my ancestors sacrificed a lot. And so I'm just a woman that's willing to sacrifice as well. So Black Tube, hit him with the word. Hallelujah. Was it Joe? I'm not even child. Okay. Is it Joe Chestbed? Femininity embodies the fruit of the spirit. Yes, it does. Loving, joyful, peaceful, kind, goodness, gentleness, faithful, temperate, patient, along with loyal, sweet, demure, graceful. Yes, it does. And the fruit of the spirit. And the key word there is the fruit of the spirit. It's your spirit. It's who you are. And all of those things that you see that a woman does, her cooking for you and taking care of home, those are the consequences of being the spirit of a woman. Because I am a woman, I want to do these things. Because I'm a woman, I want to serve my husband. I'm not just doing it to make you feel good. It's actually an innate want and a need that I want to do because I'm in my rightful role of being a woman. And that's when it becomes natural. Malevolent elephant. I ain't seen you in a minute. Thank you so much. I'm a just be blessing. Thank you. All right. Oh, this is somebody new that has never been over here before. So I am interested. What's up, Game Changer?
Hey, how you doing, Courtney? Thanks for having
me. Well, how are you?
I can't complain. I never do.
I hear you.
Okay, so in your overall topic, by the way, I only heard like a little bit before I came in, but very, very good. And I appreciate what you're trying to do as far as helping women find their feminine side. Why do you think that it's such an obstacle for women to do that? It really shouldn't be an obstacle for a female to be feminine. Like it should just be in their nature. You see where I'm going with this?
Yes, you're asking why women are not showing who they naturally are.
Well, take a lot of the femininity channels, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like yours and many others. They have more men there, and that really says something because what it's saying is that men are more interested in seeing women, particularly Black women, become more feminine than the women are interested in becoming more feminine. And I find that very disturbing. So there must be a counter message out there or something that is stifling, I want to say, the women from embracing their femininity.
You know, I'm not a femininity page. Now, maybe if Lord willing, maybe it'll become one. I'm not. When I started my page, it was just for Black women, for us to try to figure out solutions on how we can best serve our community together. So it was talking about nuclear families and, you know, the importance of a woman knowing her role, men being leaders, our children. My page is not just about relationships. A lot of people don't probably know or that are not familiar with my content. I've had multimillionaires on my page talking about HBCUs and the importance of it, and business, creating their own businesses. On my page, I've talked about Joe Rogan, the N-word. So I've talked about other topics that has nothing to do necessarily with relationships, men and women, but us holistically as a community. So that's what this page was for.
Right, but when you say that women finding their place, isn't a relationship their place? What other place does a woman have other than being in a relationship with a man?
Yeah, so women's role, obviously, yes, it's to be a helpmate and a wife, but my page is not necessarily just for women. It was also for men. It was our community. This is a community page.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where it started, was we working on the community. And I wanted to talk about other topics that concerned our community other than just relationships.
Okay, fair enough. Really, I was speaking more towards femininity because your topic today, when you're giving a compare and contrast between feminine behaviors and masculine behaviors, really show that you would like to see a collective of women become more feminine in order to reap the benefits of it.
Right.
But nevertheless, I'm pretty sure that you have sensed apprehension and pushback in doing so. So my question is why? It seems like it really should be straightforward. And this comes from my experience in the space. It's obvious that there is a market for it, provided that you are in the market for men who seek such women. Why isn't it taken more aggressively by the women is my curiosity. Even that's not what your page about, that's what the message of today is.
Yeah. So, well, I want to clarify. I'm going to answer your question. So that my page was for that. That's where I started off at. Now I do what it's becoming to be is more focused as far as with women and us really. And this is just what I'm focused on now. And it might be something else in 6 months, but I really want to talk about Black women and being in our rightful role as being a woman. Now, understanding the space that I'm in is male dominated. So the people that were interested or tuning in before was all men. And it was because of how I think I was coming across, that even though I was saying a thing that I wanted community, but when I talked about our community, I wasn't talking with them, I was talking to them. And I was being very direct. And I was being very blunt. and sometimes maybe came across as not loving or nurturing or maybe cruel, because I was like, I ain't taking no shit. And that harnered a lot of men. And the women that wanted to be here and learn, they didn't take it as me being authentic. And how can you be a woman that goes through things, but yet so damn critical and hard on me when you was just in my shoes the other day? So I didn't come in a place as teaching. And then that's why I believe that I got more men. And then when I understood, that's when my analytics started changing, and I started talking with them and teaching and trying to say, hey, this is what we need to do, and having comparisons and actually researching things. And then women could start relating. And I'll tell you, I just got a random message, and I hope I'm answering it. Am I answering your question or not?
Yeah, you are, because essentially I was asking, why doesn't it seem like it's taking? And you're saying that it is taking. You just changed your approach. So yeah, that was an answer to your question.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so it's not that my words are changing, but I think it's just me understanding what femininity is. And for the women that are wanting femininity, I mean, you bear your fruit. So I can say I'm doing a thing, but I don't know why this is coming. Well, if you don't know why, and this is the things that we should be learning. If I'm wanting a result, but I'm not getting the intended then result, then there's something wrong with what I'm doing. If I'm wanting a result of wanting to talk to Black women, but my result wasn't doing it, then there was something wrong with me, and I had to go back to the drawing board. And
okay, that's one theory. Another could be that there may be something wrong with the audience in general. And I'm not saying that there's generally something wrong with Black women. I do think that there's an outside influence on them that may be stronger than yours as a new content creator. And that's what I kind of wanted to have a discussion with you about.
Well, it could be that or the latter, but
well,
I mean, that would be, I guess, for me saying that I keep getting bad men. And if I'm telling a woman, well, maybe you're getting bad men because the results that you're getting is something wrong with you, and maybe you need to change up what you're doing because it's not coming off that you want a good man. You're attracting bad men. Or I could tell her, well, honey, because it ain't no good men.
No,
the latter part would probably be it's you.
It could be both, or one or the other. True. But what I mean by outside forces influencing it, take the movie The Woman King, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where they show Black women in a very masculine situation, a very masculine role, extraordinarily so. Things like that is encouraging young women to behave in a way that is, most definitely unfeminine. And I've been around long enough to see that this is not a new thing. This has been renewed, but this is definitely not a new thing. I think influences like that is really pulling a lot of young ladies and older women away from your message.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean when I say outside influences.
Oh, well, I disagree.
Really?
I disagree because, well, Woman King just came out. Obviously, our pages have been going on longer, but I think that the thing is, it's not a movie that are just influencing women like that. There's a lot of influences in more than just one movie.
Right. I wasn't saying it's totally that movie. I was just saying that there exists an engine that influences young women to be masculine. At the same time, you are trying to give a counter influence to a very strong mainstream influence that is encouraging young Black girls and women to be masculine. That's an example of many, but I mean, we can name anything that Alice Walker, Tyler Perry, Terry McMillan has ever touched, and you will see a similar pattern of behavior. I think that they're being encouraged to be this way, just as you are trying to encourage them to go the opposite direction.
Yeah. I think we've been indoctrinated a lot of ways. I think we are indoctrinated to know that relationships equals pain. I think we're indoctrinated to, and we're learned this from home, that men ain't shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go look for things to validate our feelings. And we know the movies, music, it's always going to be what is going to sell, and misery does. I've been indoctrinated not to respect you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go look for things to validate it. But like in this space, there are women that understands that we've been indoctrinated, that understands that we have the results that we have is not what we want.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea of insanity, of course, doing the same thing. So these are pages, and there are women that are wanting to learn more. And so as a woman, I'm not here to talk to men about what they need to be doing or what the women need to be doing for them. I got to tell the woman what we should be doing for them. I have to, there's no reason for me to say that I want a Black community and I want women to do better, but I ain't talking to the women to do better, and I'm a woman.
Mm-hmm.
That for me doesn't make sense. And then I had to realize why. Why were people calling me a chameleon? Why, was people calling me this pygmy? And it's because what I was saying wasn't in direct correlation by how I was acting, and the results showed. So I had to become more of a woman and become more in my nature, take off this armor of always trying to be right, always trying to fight, always trying to debate. That's why I don't do panels no more. I'm not on Lapeef Network. It's a reason. It's a reason why. And it's a reason why I've now surrounded myself with men that are also like-minded and can keep me in my feminine frame. And so I'm not only saying it, my work, it shows and it's improved. I'm not on panels. I'm not fighting women anymore. I'm coming to place to try to teach and learn. But that's what this platform is for. Now, if somebody don't want to do that, that's fine. That's all I'm here for.
Okay. No, I get that. I don't, know of anyone who don't agree with your message. I mean, outside of course the people in the back who call you names and things like that. But I mean, if your overall message is to, be a better, let's say, companion for men, then I have no real qualms with that.
Yeah.
What I came up was to talk about the obstacles that you face in doing so. And one is a media engine that is definitely encouraging Black women to behave opposite to what you are trying. So
sorry, go ahead.
The woman prior to me, she was on for, she felt unworthy, et cetera, et cetera. I think I've spoken to her before.
Mm-hmm.
Unworthy of love, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's a reason for that. There's a reason why she was made to feel that way. And it's external. I don't think that it was something internal within her. So I would like to see, I come to channels like this because I do like to see that addressed and that countered. I want to see more Black women counter a very powerful machine that is encouraging them to be ill-behaved.
Well, let me ask you, because you said you've talked to TJ, did you take the time out when you did talk to her to ask her why was the reason?
Yeah, I think I did, but I don't remember the answer. But I do remember asking. It was either her or someone else in a very similar situation that particular question. And the reason why we couldn't go into depth is because it was a panel, so everybody needed to turn to talk. It wasn't just a dialogue.
Well, I'll say this because media is influences a lot. I mean, that's just it is. The distrust of us, as far as with Black women and Black men, was indoctrinated as children.
Yeah, I agree.
So before I could watch a Waiting to Exhale or understand or even spell out color purple, as a child at 5, 6, 7 years old, I had to say, watch out for them. They don't want nothing. Don't you ever talk to no boy. I remember my grandmother saying this. So I was taught before I was able to turn on a TV that I need to be wary of men and that they gonna probably just want to use you for sex. And then as I got older, I was also taught that you need to get it by yourself and you need to be more self-sufficient and independent. And then what I saw was all relative to what I was taught. And so then I thought it was true, because then the movie started reflecting what I was always brought up to believe. So they all go hand in hand. And I think for this page, it is teach your children to, Shiraz Ali, tell you, you can't wait till they're 14. You got to get them while they're young and impressionable. And even with the Woman King, I did an analysis on that and broke that down and talked about slavery and the women back then, because I did actually see the movie. A lot of the times we were talking about shit that we ain't even saw, that we haven't even seen. Mm-hmm. So I broke that down and the woman essence of what that meant to a scholar that's actually from the tribe. So again, that's what I'm doing. That is my work. You said Woman King, people had a problem with it, but let's analyze it. Not only that, let's talk about it historically. Let's talk to a man that's a scholar that's traveled the world worldwide, that's actually from the tribe and lived in Benin. Mm-hmm. So you're absolutely right. That is. We can do both things simultaneously, but they both had an effect. And I don't want to negate one or the other. I think that we're strong enough to do it together.
When you say both things, what thing are you talking about? Well, I mean, I know the one thing, and that is address the media engine that is encouraging masculinity amongst women who should be feminine. But what's the other thing?
Yeah, the indoctrination of us.
The who?
Indoctrination.
Well, yeah, that's one thing.
So those are the two things. So it's what I was taught at home, nature versus nurture is what I would say, but what I was taught and what I should be, and then what society keeps ingraining in me. Mm-hmm. Those are two things that we need to tackle because they were both lies. Do you agree?
Well, yeah, I agree. You're referring to both. You're referring to two different engines or two different entities that are spewing the same lie. So I would say that that's one thing. That being the lie, and I think that in the case of the parents, they were lied to, and they just made it a generational thing. The Color Purple came out right around the time you were born. So, which means that they seen it as adults, and they were being indoctrinated then. And it was a book long before that. So were things like Their Eyes Were Watching God and For Color Girls, whoever thought to commit suicide, things like that. Mm-hmm. These books before they became movies had very strong impacts on the psyche of Black American women. And on the opposite side, things like Superfly. Of course, encourage the men to be the players that your parents were telling you to be fearful of. So, right. In a very real way, we were raised to be apart. So, however, in spite of that, I do see a greater effort, and this space kind of represents that. And now, when I'm talking about just generally the space of Black men speaking on relationship issues as well as Black women. What I found is that there is a greater push for togetherness coming from the men than the women. If you look at the channels for women where the host is vehemently, I can't say that word, but you know what I mean, where they're readily against Black men, those channels tend to do very well. The ones that, for us, that do very well are the Kevin Samuels, who was really an advocate for Black families and relationships. So it really shows that even though both sides are indoctrinated in a very strong way, it does seem as though one side comes out of the indoctrination a lot sooner than the other. And one side does seem there's an imbalance on which side, male or female, is focused more on creating and sustaining a healthy relationship.
Well, I mean, if that's your opinion, I totally respect it. I think that people gravitate to channels of hurt and where people can commune in pain. Any page that people are talking about healing and connecting and communion, will never be as big as the pains that is talking shit. That's just how society is. Every movie, the pain, the hurt. There's big business in our dysfunction. And that's just it's a hard fact.
Mhm.
And I know with Cynthia G, her page is booming, but she ain't the biggest page in YouTube.
Well, I mean, as far as relationship goes.
Yeah. And I know that she didn't start off that way. She didn't start off that way. She was on this black love track and her page wasn't doing shit. And then she flipped, understanding that again, there is money in our dysfunction. And if I know that if I wanted to be a bigger channel and get all the super chats, all I got to do is propagate our pain. All I have to do is show women being stupid. All I have to show is men being ignorant. And I would get all the love, likes, and admiration. But because I choose to show women that are putting in the work and the TJ Randolphs and showcase us Black love, that's not going to be as big as the other if I just showed us being stupid. However, there is a whole lot of Black people that are getting it right. And there are Black marriages and marriages that are happening. Why ain't nobody talking about those?
You're asking me literally?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought it was rhetorical.
I'm sorry. Well, no, I guess it did sound rhetorical. But yeah, I'm asking.
No. Why isn't that? Well, okay. I when addressing a problem, I like to address the problem, not present the okay. So say a person is missing an arm, right? Or a person has an infected arm of some sort. I don't think that it would be helpful to a medical professional to display the healthy arm. See where I'm going with that? Like, okay, so yes, there exist Black couples out there in the world, right? But they're not problematic. The problematic ones are the ones who are suffering from the indoctrination that we were talking about, and the results of that. So I think that requires better examination than the healthy ones. You know, if you have like a bucket full of apples and half of them are rotten and the other half aren't, I mean, if you choose to display the ones that aren't, you know, that's fine. But I don't want to ignore that there are far too many rotten apples in the bucket.
Right.
So, but it's different approaches to the same goal. It's not, you know, as long as we understand, like you describe people who make fun of it, and I do. I think that there should be a certain amount of shame for certain behaviors out there, and also that people should be aware of what type of behaviors to avoid. I definitely agree with that, and that's why I display like, hey, look at this. This is the type of behavior you should avoid as a man. I mean, I'm talking about if I'm just showcasing a derelict woman. This is the type of behaviors that you should avoid as a man, and also this is the type of behavior you should avoid mimicking as a woman.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever done this? You've had your page for how long, Game Changer?
About 3 years.
So out of 3 years, have you done 20 shows on women that are getting it right and what we need to be looking at?
Yeah.
And this woman did. When was the last show you did that on? And who was that woman?
Salmon.
Okay. So another content creator. So anybody else, a regular woman, are showing that there are Black women that are losing weight, that are getting more in tune in their femininity.
Well,
do you do shows or do you do content showing Black people being great, and not just a content creator that you might be? But I mean, I do stuff on Kevin Samuels, I get that, but in general, these are great Black folks that need to be honored, and we need to look at them, and this is what we need to be striving for.
Like you're talking about like Robert Smith or something like that? Yeah.
Or anyone. Is there anything or any of your 3 years?
I have done a video on Robert Smith. That's the most recent one I can think of. Yeah.
And okay. So, but in essence, in 3 years, you did it on Robert Smith and Chantel Simone.
No, I mean, I'm pretty sure that there's several others, but I think that you are trying to hold me to some type of criteria of displaying Black excellence. And once again, for the aforementioned reasons, that's not what my channel is about. However,
Right.
in the time, I have done that. Yes.
Yeah. So that's not what your channel is about. And I
Yeah.
understand. And that's what a lot of channels aren't about.
Mhm.
And that's
And
why
yours
it's
is, which is good.
okay. So,
Yeah.
well, yeah.
I mean,
so I think
once again, I mean, as I stated, because I'm sensing like slight hostility. As I stated, we have different methods to the same goal. What your line of questioning was, how come I am not doing your method? As I mentioned, I feel that there's certain behaviors that need to be shamed. You feel that there's certain behaviors that need to be championed, and that's fine. Once again, two methods, same goal. We don't have to clash on this. We truly don't.
yeah, I'm not clashing. I'm just emphasizing that a lot of times we focus on our pain, and there is a business in our pain. And I am wanting to see a balance, because I do believe that we need to be showing things that we're getting wrong, but the balance is also showing where some of us is getting it right. And I don't like the Tyler Perrys, like you mentioned, like the Alice Walker, like you mentioned, that championed our dysfunction and was also helped being the part of indoctrinating these ideas. We're doing the exact same thing on YouTube.
Right. So
And,
so my method, my technique is to really like point out these things in a negative light, because you can't really address something like that in a positive. You can't. In fact, it's very difficult for you to do that. Like I mean, when was the last time you can say that, hey, take a look at this movie. It is encouraging Black love. I mean, granted, they exist. I think that The Best Man was an example of that. However, they are few and far between. So because the negative is definitely stronger, that is what I like to address. That's just my technique.
yeah.
Not to say I don't appreciate yours.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. So again, like I said, I'm not trying to, you gonna do what you gonna do. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. That's fine. I just want to be, what we've been doing hasn't worked. And like you said, with the social engineering and indoctrinating Black folks in believing and thinking a thing that is just consistent, I think that we're doing our people a disservice by not showing the other side of things. And that's what, for me, that's just what I want to do. I don't want to relish on just our dysfunction. We have to show that there are people that are getting it right, and they need to be seen, because if not, then we're just going to keep playing in a circle year after year of thinking that we ain't shit. And I think of us more than that. And I know people that are more than that. I am more than that. So that's all. Do you want to stay up? I'm going to bring up OG Patrice.
Yeah, that's fine. But let me ask you something. Why is it that your chat room hates me so much? I'm curious.
I'm not even paying attention to the chat. I don't know.
All right.
But I'm sorry. I'm not paying attention.
No, don't worry about it.
Okay. OG.
Hey, Court. How are
Hello.
you? Hey. Salute to the young man on the panel, Game Changer. I think is his name. I wanted to come on the panel with him because I did want to say the thing is about there shouldn't be a clashing actually between people that want to see the greater good for the Black nuclear family versus the people that don't. Because this is one thing that I want, and I really think that that our Black people, our Black community and culture need to realize everybody is not going to be on your side. And that's okay. The ones like yourself, Courtney, and TJ, that's bringing the positivity to the platforms and trying to grow young women as you are growing, as and even in, with TJ and what she's bringing to the table, she's still learning and growing every day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still learning and growing every day. My thing is, we as a culture need to realize that everybody ain't gonna ride and rock with you, and that need to be okay with us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we need to be okay with knowing that everybody ain't gonna ride in that boat and paddle that boat in the same direction as you, because everybody's vision and goal is not the same. So the ones that are spewing the negativity and all of that, those people need to stay over there and rock with those people, because some of our people are just not gonna get it, and that's okay. But the ones that want to be over here, Court, on your page, on TJ's page, on pages that are being positive and that are uplifting the Black community and the Black culture and showing women how to be feminine, how to change the narrative for yourself as a Black woman, then the ones that need to be over here gonna be over here. It's just simple, point blank period is that. Like, spending too much of our time worrying about what the opposite of the person is doing is too much energy, where you could be continuously putting it into your own thing and what you're doing. So that's what I wanted to say to that. And also, when you're talking about the Black nuclear family, first of all, as a Black woman and as a Black man, we know each other's plight more than anybody on this earth. And if we have not looked in that mirror first and did the homework first and did the inventory first on self, how dare you get on platforms and try to judge others?
Mm-hmm.
See, that's where the hypocrisy starts with us. There is a part of our culture and us as a people that we don't like ourselves. We don't want to face that truth of why. Because of indoctrination, because of things that happened way before any of us was even in existing, because it came from our ancestors and what was browbeaten into them, that was passed on from generation to generation to us. We need to deal with that first before we can help anybody.
Yeah.
Black man, I know your plight. So if I know your plight, why am I browbeating you? Black men, you know the plight of some Black women. Why are you browbeating them? Why aren't we learning and growing and teaching continuously and concentrate on the ones that want to get it? Everybody ain't gonna get it. I had to learn that we can't save everybody. Guess what? Everybody don't want to be saved. We ain't Jesus, and Jesus didn't save everybody. He can't, because it's about choices. And Black men and Black women have to make the choice for themselves. Even God Almighty gives us that choice, the choice to choose good or evil, right or wrong, bad or good. And that's when you get that part and you work on that part within yourself, then and only then are we going to get it as a community and as a culture. And that's only for the ones that want to.
Well,
thank you, OG.
If I may respond, a lot of what you say, I do agree with as far as addressing your own issues and things like that. One of the things that can help is a book that's by a gentleman named Tom Burrell called Brainwashed. It discussed how society is manipulating and controlling Black people to hate each other in the instance that you described. So check it out if you have a chance. Very good read. Secondly, you mentioned the analogy of rowing in the opposite direction. So I wanted to touch on that for a second, because I do see a lot of that. My recommendation for many people who find themselves in a situation like that is to not be in a boat with somebody who is rowing in the opposite direction. And that's why so many brothers are saying that the community isn't fit for saving, because far too many people are rowing in reverse as opposed to rowing forward. And you're never going to get any momentum. You're basically in a situation like that, a boat will just go into circles. Do you think that we've come to that point? Because your approach seems to me to be just ignore the haters or ignore the people who are working against your collective agenda to make healthy families, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But when that's an extraordinarily large part of the community, then the ultimate result would be to ignore the community. And it seems like that's where we're at. And that's why we have this impasse between brothers who just want to leave the community altogether and say, hey, save yourself because you're rowing in the proper direction. So just let everybody else, figure it out. What's your take on that?
Are you asking me?
Yes, I am.
Yes, that's with you, OG.
Absolutely, I am. Listen, and as much as I am I work in my community, I'm an activist. I do a lot of things for our culture and our people, right? But I do realize that there are people that don't rock with what I rock with, don't want to, ain't trying to. And then there's some people that have lived and learned. Because see, there's a thing called life experiences, right? So when you make that bed hard and you got to lie in it, sometimes the change of mind and heart has to come through life experiences, right? And if that happens to people, that's cool too. And they could say, I realized what I was doing was wrong. Now I get it. We got those people, right? But there are just some people in our culture that are just not going to get it. Listen, everybody didn't rock with King. Everybody didn't rock with Malcolm. Everybody didn't rock with W.E.B. Du Bois. Everybody didn't rock with Garvey. Everybody, listen, that look like us ain't always for and about us, right? And there are people out there that spew the venom and the vitriol against people like them that were great leaders, right? And listen, when I say this, I don't mean you got to agree with everything they say 100%. But if you can agree with the bottom line for your people, your culture, the nuclear family, and where you want to see us move as a people, that should be all that matters. I might not agree with Courtney on when she say the sky's blue. I may say, well, it look a little gray to me today, Court. Does that mean that I don't rock with her on the bottom line with what I see she's trying to do for the community and for the culture and for Black women in general? By bringing and showing them how to be a softer side of their femininity and growing into that and maturing into that. Is there nefariousness? Absolutely. There will continue to be when we are dead and gone. But the ones that will get it by trial and error. And some will get it automatically the first time. Some people, you ain't got to tell them but one time. Just like that doctor may tell you, if you don't put that drink down, you're going to die. He didn't say it's a possibility. You might, so. He said, you're going to die. Some people get it the first time. You only got to tell me once. And some people have to get it by trial and error. And that's okay. But the ones that don't get it, don't get it. And we have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
And I hope I answered the question.
No, you definitely did. Because, and I like your analogy when you talk about rowing boats. Somebody used the salmon, and you just keep going in your direction, but they're not part of the same community. I mean, I do feel that if far too many people are rowing in the improper direction or not rowing properly, then you find yourself another boat, and row with those who row in your direction. And I think that that's where a lot of the confusion about people like Passport Bros, which I'm not a part of, by the way, but I think that that's a lot of confusion. I think I see these brothers as guys who are just looking for someone who rows in the same direction that they are. Someone who, for cultural reasons, weren't tainted by the things that we discussed, through the nurturing process. They're looking for somebody who was nurtured to work as a companion, not really as a antithesis to that. They would like to see the community change, but until that happens, they have to focus on getting their own boat and getting their own nuclear family, which I don't see anything wrong with.
Yes, and if I may interject, because you made the comment about the guests you had on your panel, I would like to see content creators have real people in real time, in real life, doing the work, boots on the ground out here when you're talking about family, nuclear family and husband and wife, actually doing it instead of another content creator. See, because content creators tend to get with other content creators because they rock together and they say, oh, look what this person is doing. But no. Show me your average husband and wife in the Black community that will be a guest on your panel and come up here with their family or with just the husband and wife and say, this is what we do. And this is what we represent, not another content creator. It's easy to do that. We got to get people in real time that are boots on the ground in the community, creating and perpetuating the Black nuclear family. That's what I want to see on channel, not other content creators.
Thank you. OG, I'm going to drop you. I'm going to bring someone up as well. I'm going to, Game Changer, do you want to talk to someone before I drop you down? Because I'm thinking...
Yeah, I got something at 12 that I have to attend.
Well, y'all guys go ahead. I'm gonna take up some.
I'll stay. I mean, I have like 15 minutes.
So. All right, stay because I'm gonna assume someone wants to chit chat with you.
Sure.
All right, and thank you, Court. I appreciate you, love.
I appreciate
Keep doing the good work, baby girl.
I'm trying.
I love you. All right. Bye.
I'm gonna George Macon.
Hey.
Hello, darling.
Peace. Yeah, I think that as long as we can monetize our stuff, like most people in the Black community, it's not the majority that's just acting crazy or just shooting up or just having a bunch of babies. It's a lot of our people that's decent people that get up and go to work every day. If you live in places like Black cities, like on the East Coast, stuff like that, you get up in the morning, you see Black people going to work every day. Everybody's not out in the street having a bunch of babies or just killing each other. That's a percentage of our community. In these YouTube spaces, you can monetize that. Actually showing Black decency in these spaces, nobody cares about that. So they're not going to talk about it. And when I created my program, Urban Nerds, and we go around with these kids, it's more kids that's not wilding out or acting crazy than it is that are. And our community know that. This is just in these spaces on YouTube, you can be the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. You can be whatever you want without proving yourself, and you can make money off of it. So that's what they focus on. We see for years we complained about white folks being in control of our identity and how we're perceived to the masses. But now we get spaces where we have the ability to give a better image. No, we double down on it for profit. So yes, we know we got single mom problem, we got the Pookies and Ray Rays, but we got a lot of Black men and women that graduate from HBCUs every year. Nobody talks about that. Mm-hmm. I do. Right. Nobody. And then like we make excuses. We know. See, the part I understand what the brother's saying because I understand that exists. But if that's going to be just where I'm going to leave here until the community get right, my question is, in the Black community, you got people, like I said, you got decent people. That's still in the community. Like we speak of the community as if it's just this worn down World War III, just destroyed. No, that's not the whole community. And so, listen, if a brother want a passport and leave, or he want to talk about the community as the community and all that crap, to me, that's just a bunch of crap. But that's YouTube stuff. It's YouTube stuff. Do some of these Negroes get on my nerves here in Philadelphia? Absolutely. But in the city with almost 2 million people, they're just the loudest in the room. The majority of decent people is getting up going to work every day.
Well, okay.
Family. They're not really talking.
Okay, so I get where you're going with this. And when I talk about the negative aspects of the community, the knuckleheads, the let's just call it violence. The violent members of it are a minority, yes. And that's not necessarily the focus here. The focus is that the average men that you're talking about, the ones that wake up and and get dressed and go to work and stuff like that each and every single day. The problem is, and the reason why people like Passport Bros exist, is because after work they come home and they're alone. And when an average man approaches an average woman in the Black community, the average woman tend to say no. And here's an example of that. Take Miss Average at best, who is a woman who is admittedly, by her own admission, average. However, she refuses to be with an average man. So all of these guys that you talk about that get up and go to work every morning and, you know, work hard and not cause any trouble, they aren't getting picked by the average woman who is doing the same. That is extraordinarily problematic, more so than the, you know, gang violence and the systemic reason that the gang violence exists. For that reason, average men are looking for exceptional women elsewhere, just as average women are looking for exceptional women domestically. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, but I hear what you're saying, and that's why I said that's what they want to do. But both of those groups represent a small minority of the community. Both of those.
No. Average does not represent a small minority. Average is the majority of people are average, sir.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
That's not what he's saying.
That's not what I'm saying. I comprehended what you said. I understand. I mean, because I would be considered average until I got some muscles. I'm 5'7". I'm just a little short guy, right? I would fit that mold. But what I'm saying is that those guys that speak that way about I couldn't get the girl and I'm going over here, they don't represent the totality of the Black community. Like I'm not around average brothers that really talk like that. Like you may have some, but they don't represent the whole community. That's what I'm saying. So that's a small group. I would fit in that category, right? I mean, you know how many times I got turned down by women when I was growing up? The woman I've been married to for 18 years, I tried 3 times before I can get her. She said no. So yeah, and I kept trying. I mean, it just is what it is. So some guys, you know, they feel as though they gotta go, but that's not all the community. That's what I'm saying. That's a small portion. And those women that talk that way, that come on and talk about killing babies and do this. Outside, like I said, I live in one of the blackest cities in America. I don't know really Black women that talk like that. I know some stuck up Black women, but I ain't never heard a woman in the street talking about, we got to kill these niggas' babies. That's YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
No, I definitely agree with that. I don't really worry about women who talk like that because they are the minority. Just as one shouldn't really worry about guys who are choosing to find a certain type of happiness elsewhere because they're also minority.
Game changer. So if that's in the minority and the majority of men are here not going overseas, wouldn't it be in our best interest as women to talk to those men that is the majority?
Okay.
I'm asking a question.
Is it, what do you mean talk to? Like
yeah. So if we're
they're attempting to form relationships with? Well, I mean,
let me rephrase it. If it's just a small subsection of men, very small, less than 10% of men that even have passports as far as Black men. If they are the small subsect of men and the majority of Black men that are here that are wanting to commune with Black women, that want a relationship, that want marriage, isn't it in women's that have platforms best interest to work on those men, those relationships, and making sure those women are marriageable? Shouldn't that be our work? Is the majority of the men that are here, and wouldn't that be the best interest of us to focus on?
Well, if the goal, as you describe it, is to make the women marriageable, then the talk would be with the women. You know, and that part I definitely agree with. Like, you know, tell them to be marriageable. Absolutely.
Okay. And then if I say that I support men, isn't it more feasible and makes sense for me to support the majority of men that would be here that's not going?
Well, I mean, you could support all men, absolutely. But I mean, I do think that making the women marriageable is supporting the men, because that's the number one problem in the Black community is an absence or a dearth of marriageable women.
Can I say something to that though?
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. It's our show, my bad.
Okay, I hear that a lot, and I would agree with that on one side, but on the other side, the hypocrisy to me the hypocrisy part that I hear from us brothers is as if Black men are marriageable. In the house of dysfunction that we come from, a lot of us, not all, but a lot of us come from, In the back room, I sleep. In the middle room, my sister sleep. And if she's unmarriageable, I'm growing up in the same dysfunction she is. I may have went to school and got some education, but that don't mean that I've been raised up and trained to understand legacy and what it takes to be married, what it takes to raise a family. I think what gets missed here in this conversation is both of us are saying what we want, but we're not listening to each other. I don't think that the black man in America is marriage material just as much as the black woman. Neither one of us has been trained to be married. I've been married 18 years. Most people that's talking this stuff ain't married and ain't never been married and ain't even trying to be married. That's the part that gets me that I don't understand. This is not just coming directly at you, Game Changer. I'm just speaking on the talking points that's been in these spaces for a long time, because I would agree with you. I don't think that a lot of these women are marriage material right now, but the same would go for the men too.
Okay, that's where we disagree, because I don't believe it's the same, and most certainly not to the same extent. But I'll entertain this for a second and ask you, what do you think qualifies a man for marriage?
What qualifies a man for marriage is
what makes a man marriageable. Yeah.
What makes a man marriageable is his ability, is first of all him willing. He has to be willing to want to compete, want to protect, understand what legacy is.
Mm-hmm.
If he's not raised up in that and understanding what legacy is, understanding what his role would be to his family and himself in a part of providing, then he's not marriage material. And that's not something that you teach a man when he's a man. He has to be raised up into that, growing into manhood. I was raised by my father. I've been married 18 years because I was raised by my father and been around a bunch of uncles that's been married 30 years. I seen what it looked like. And I was raised around men that told me what legacy was, that told me what proper commitment was. Most boys are not raised like that where we come from. Just because I went to college don't mean I have an understanding of what marriage is.
So you're saying that a man who's raised by a single mother cannot become marriageable?
Most people in our communities, and I think I said it, but you just missed it. What I'm saying is most people in our house of dysfunction, raised up like that, are not marriage material. A lot of us get married and learn how to be married on the fly. We don't come into marriages knowing what to do. So I would guess most of us are.
Okay, because here's the thing. Here's where I disagree with that. You can have two people, let's just say twins, a brother and sister, right? And one of them, the effects can affect one gender differently than the other. For example, the obesity problem. You're here with the muscles and crap like that. However, your sister, and this isn't me crapping on your physique, but no, what I'm saying is in the same household, it is possible that your sister is morbidly obese. And the fact of the matter is that obesity in our community runs rampant on the female side, not the men's side. So out of the same room, eating out of the same trough, you have the greatest athletes in the world. And out of the same trough that their single mama fed them both, you have the fattest women on the planet. So let's be clear, certain style of raising affects one side more than the other. Now, if you were to hold that base criteria as a requirement for femininity, womanhood, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, then the men far outnumber the women in that regard. And as far as willingness to provide and protect, raising aside, or being a single mother or otherwise aside, Black men are outdoing the female counterpart tremendously, unfortunately. So there is a lot more Black men who are seeking fit, feminine, and friendly Black women who are capable, right quick, brother, who are capable of providing for said fit, feminine, and friendly women. However, there is a dearth of fit, feminine, and friendly women. There's a dearth of just fit ones.
But I think I'm sorry.
Go ahead. And I'm going to bring a couple more people up.
I think that you moved the goalpost, but let me ask you a question before I bring this point home. Are you married, Game Changer?
No, I'm not.
Have you ever been married?
No.
So you've never been with a woman where you guys had to merge your good and bad together and walk together. You never experienced that.
I've been in long-term relationships, but if that's how you define marriage, then you're asking the same question again.
I'm talking about actually married to a woman where you
right.
guys
so essentially you're asking, are you
I'm
married?
just asking a
And then
straight
you
up
gave,
question. Have
I
you been
get what
married?
you're
Well,
saying. I'm pointing out the redundancy.
no. Hold on.
Hold on right quick.
No, hold on, no, because I let you go. I'm just asking. We're not going to do that.
Yeah,
we're not going to listen to what I'm saying.
let me just reply to the text. I'm listening, but go ahead.
Because we're not going to put the redundancy part. I'm just asking a question. I had a lot of girlfriends and been in long-term relationships. It's a difference when you're married to somebody. And the reason why I'm saying that, because see, this is where we try to get away from. If we're going to be mature men and we're going to have this conversation and we're going to talk about the women part and the male part, and we're bringing marriage into it. I've been married 18 years. That has to mean something. You can't just disrespect my marriage part, me as a black man, because you want to make your point. How do we do that? So what I'm saying is, what I'm trying to say is, I got the part that you said about the women and being obesity and all these different things, but the aspect of black men in our country, right? When you look at other groups of men, I get the term that I get the saying that they say was 54% of black men are in the middle class and these things. But when you look at other groups of men, they operate together in groups for economic gain and power. Black men in this country have no power. Part of it is because of the way we're raised. We're raised as individuals and not understanding legacy and power. We're not raised like that. We're raised to go get a job, make some money, but we're not raised to compete in the system as men to actually get the respect that we would want and have the power to build. We're not raised like that. And I challenge anybody to a debate on that. When you look at other groups, the way my mother's Latino, my father's African American, so I understand both sides. I see it. We're not in the way that we're raised. So I get what you're saying. I don't disagree, totally disagree in what you're saying about the woman aspect. But you're speaking as if the black men don't have no issues, and we do. Some of our issues and our complaints about women is because of the way we're raised, and we're not raised to seek power, where we can garner the change we want. We're raised as individuals.
Okay, so as I mentioned, most men in particular, are average. And yeah, not everybody is going to be this power-seeking individual. That should not be a criteria for marriage. You see, here's the difference. In the white community, you can be a Hank Hill. You can be just a regular guy who sells propane and propane accessories and have a wife and family. However, in the black community, for whatever reason, the fattest women on the planet are saying to the men that, hey, you have to somehow have some sense of power in order to, or you have to have like an extraordinary amount of power just to marry a basic chick. That is ridiculous, sir. The qualifications that you are describing for basic marriage and basic families is too high, and the women who are making these qualifications are too fat. So whenever you have
game changer, hold on, because I think the thing that you make a lot of it is weight. What makes a good wife?
A person who, once again, is fit, feminine, and friendly.
That's it?
Well, I mean, I'm oversimplifying it, but yeah.
So let's not.
Am I quotes for? Well, that depends on the individual person. What's a good wife for one is not a good wife for another. However, these are good qualities. One who is supportive, one who is, let's see, I already said feminine. One who's supportive, one who's submissive, one who perhaps is intelligent, but that's not always a requirement. One who is nurturing, et cetera, et cetera. One who's responsible.
Courtney, I got to jump off.
Okay, thank you, George. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I just want to say just one thing. I got to go pick up my wife. I would just say that my dear brother didn't speak to what I was saying. I'm not talking about fat women. I was talking about the male aspect of just working with his own brother for power.
No, I get what you're saying.
No,
that should not be a qualification for marriage.
I gotta go.
That should not be a qualification for marriage, sir.
I got you, brother.
You should not have to like join the Continental Congress.
That's not what I was saying.
And win your independence from England just to marry a chick. The qualification is too high, and what you're being qualified for is too low. And that's why I brought the fat.
That wasn't what I was saying. That wasn't what I was trying to say. I was taking a woman out the equation for a minute based off of what you're saying, because I don't disagree with everything that you say. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is other groups of men are trained, whether they're average or not, to seek some form of power, whether through economics.
No, they're not.
Well, brother, can I speak without you? I'm not cutting you off. Let me speak.
Okay.
All I'm saying is, that's all I'm saying. Me as a black man, because I see a lot of people, black men, last time I checked, black men don't use the word cuckish. So I don't, some of you dudes in that chat room, man, the way y'all talk. I've been married for 18 years. I'm not out committing no crime. I own 15 properties in the black community, in my community. I got a program, Urban Nerds. I work with children. I'm doing my part on what I'm supposed to do. So a lot of you guys that talk that simping stuff, maybe I'm a simp for my people, because I love my people, the men and the women. And I love my people enough to build with my people and work with the children and produce. So a lot of you guys talking, don't show your face. We don't like all that. I'm supposed to be the Pookie and Ray Ray, but y'all talking trash to me. So what does that make y'all? You know what I mean? So like, listen, game changer, we can go back and forth. You know what I mean? I agree with some of the things you say, some things I disagree with. So thanks for having me on. Peace.
Thank you, George.
Okay, right. Let me just respond to that right quick, please. Because he's saying that, Black men don't seek power. Why is that? That is a extraordinarily high bar for just basic relationship. This nuclear family thing, that is the bar that y'all set, and that's ridiculous. I would like for y'all to ask a regular white guy, how much do he think about, or what does he do to seek power? Ask your mailman. Next time the mail comes by, if your mailman just so happened to be a white man, ask him, 1, is he married? 2, is she fat? And 3, what is he doing to try to take over the world?
Yeah.
And then go for
ahead.
it.
Well, I don't mean to cut you off, but I think what is missing with this conversation right now is the emphasis of just fat, fat, fat. If she's not fat, then what?
Oh, then she's
not fat, then what? We have to
look for the other qualities. If she's
but
not,
what are they? And that's what I'm saying.
I listed them: feminine, friendly.
What is femininity?
Supportive. Well, you describe that better than I can.
Well, hold on. What is your definition of femininity?
A person who's nurturing, supportive, motherly, but generally behave in a way that's consistent with the female nature.
Which is what?
Those things that I described.
So nurturing, motherly, that's all in one. So we're mothers. What else are we?
Well, no, a person could be a mother without necessarily being a good one. Okay.
So besides nurturing, what are we?
Okay. To avoid getting caught into semantics, let's just say fitness is on the list, and there's a bunch of other things depending on the individual that men seek. So, but most of our women don't meet that first base criteria, which means that most Black American women are ill qualified. And this isn't a subjective thing. They're ill qualified for long-term relationships.
I want to try to get my answer here because I think this is important. I'm asking a man that you are specifically saying you want femininity in a woman. Mm-hmm. And what's been consistent, and when I ask, is that you just say nurturing. Take nurturing out of that. What is the nature of a woman?
To be supportive to her man.
That's it?
Yeah. I mean, it's very difficult because we're talking about a very broad thing that people generally accept. The definition of femininity is qualities and attributes regarded as characteristics of a woman. So yeah, the definition kind of, it has the word in its definition. I get that. Nevertheless, we do seek unmasculine behavior, uncombative and supportive behavior from our women.
See, I think this is why I made the show.
Okay.
Because we have these YouTube talking points, but we can't even define what femininity is. You describe attributes of femininity. That's feminine. But femininity and what women nature is, it is defined. And it's more than just being nurturing. It is being passive. It is emotional. It is women cry. It is softness. It is tenderness. It is being kind. It is being sympathetic. It is being creative. These are all attributes of femininity, but if we just holding it down as she fat or nurturing, and that's what we think femininity is wrong, then we are wrong. We're not getting it. And we say it's a nuance. Hold on, please. We're saying the nuance to this conversation is moving it where we quit talking these YouTube talking points. What is it? What does it look like? And at this point, I wholeheartedly believe that Black women don't know what it is, nor do Black men. And Black women are able to get on these panels and show you what you think femininity is. And that's me supporting a man. Mm-hmm. That's me not being too loud or aggressive. And you think that's femininity. And what I'm trying to say that it is not. It is more. A nature of a woman is more. We're indecisive. That's part of femininity.
Okay. And so is recognizing that. That being said, on the list of things that men require is fitness. And if she isn't that, then it doesn't really matter how feminine she is, you know? Like, I don't care how feminine a fat chick is.
Well, that's you, game changer, and that's fine.
I think that most men don't. And nor should
these women are getting slept with and getting babies by. So if you're telling me that these big women are not getting men, that's cap.
No, I agree with that. And I think that that's a problem. Definitely. I don't think that brothers should embrace big women the way that they do, or even consider them as women the same way that we do. Most certainly not. And that is simply put, because an aspect of femininity, as we described, is the desire to please their mate. And if you're an extraordinarily fat person, then your desire to please your mate is very, very low. You have a very, very low desire to please your mate. You know that fat don't please me, but yet you're fat.
Hold on, game changer. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but
no worries.
This is not going to be a show where I'm talking about fat women. I want to talk about what femininity is. And a big woman can be feminine, might not be your cup of tea. And so you don't even, if that's not your cup of tea, then you don't even have to talk about them. Talk about your cup of tea. I won't. So, but what femininity is, and what I'm saying, and the purpose of this show is that we don't know what it is in real life. We don't know what it is in real life because we haven't seen it modeled. Sure. And we have the ability, and women have the ability, and what we say is chameleons is trying to be a part that we think that men want. And what we're not getting is that that's fake. And that's being a chameleon, and that's being a pick-me, because you're trying to be what men want instead of just being it. And once you be it, you attract it. And that's where we are getting it wrong as content creators, as women are not doing that. And I can admit to myself that that's what I was doing too. So I understood why people was calling a chameleon. And what I'm saying is hold on, I'm going to let you go. Okay. And this is the purpose of this show is once you get all those damn talking points, you want to move this conversation into real solutions and be real with people and honest. And you take that armor off of you and saying, I'm not doing this because I want a man, or I want a man to like me or to look at me like I'm special. I am just going to be what God created me to be. Once women get in that mold, this space is not conducive for a lot of women. And it's not. There is no way in the world that a real feminine, loving, nice, kind woman can thrive in a space of men that's saying they don't want her. Mm-hmm. Of men that's bashing all the time Black women. There's no way in the world that a Black woman in her woman feminine state can take hours long of being told y'all are fat. No one wants you. We are leaving you. You're not worthy. You hit the wall. You're baby mama. We can't, because our nature is not like that. And if we're going to be honest, we got to be true. And in order for women to be able to sit here and take it and smile, you either have to put on a mask of masculinity and do this thing like a man, or you don't give a fuck. World Class, what you got for me?
Well, peace to the channel, peace to the chat, peace to you, Courtney. Appreciate you having me up. The gentleman that left was a while. Like I came up, had some contention with what he said, but he's gone, and then we on a femininity conversation. So, I mean, I've said this plenty of times. Shout out to the initiated, those of us that know. Femininity is not lip gloss. It's not angles, picture angles. Femininity is universal law. I'm sorry, actually, it's universal order. Cow has femininity, space, time. It's just about order. We learned that femininity is magnetism. Like everything is electromagnetic. So femininity is magnetism, and magnetisms and magnets ground out, which we would call a negative charge. So I come from a science aspect. It's not limited to what a man wants. A male doesn't want. And that's just that. Like from the beginning, you said, Crony, like we don't know what it is, and a lot of women don't know what it is. They think it's just flirting with a dude. Those femininity courses that doesn't teach you anything. So I learned it from a science aspect. I learned what a woman's place is. I learned what a man's place is. That's why I don't participate in a woman being masculine or male being feminine. We didn't make this setup. I didn't create oxygen. I didn't create the earth. Whatever we call God, Allah, Krishna, Elohim, Yahweh, nature, that set it up. We can't have a woman be masculine. To me, it's just you being demonic. You being out of your nature. That's how I take it. So it's sad to hear some of the things. I also say this. What you want out of it, like we confuse our association to things with what a thing actually is. You'll take your definition versus what the actual definition is. I got to fight these dudes in this space about what words mean, like every day, all day, nonstop. And you don't have a choice on what words mean. It just is what it is. So, and if we're talking about fat in this space, most of these dudes are fat. And if you want to be a leader, you like a lot of these dudes in this space are fat, and you can clearly see me. I'm not fat. I'm counting up. I bet I was $200. I was 200 pounds. I'm sorry, 255 pounds when I was like in my 20s. I'm 155 now. So,
wow.
Yeah, a lot of these dudes talk, and if the fat is bothering you, then I'm not going to name your leaders, but you need to go find those dudes that can't control the space between their plate and their face. I'm gonna follow you, but breakfast, lunch, and dinner and snacks are gonna beat you. But you're a man and you can't control yourself. How that work? So if we have a conversation about being a man, how many more men are gonna be able to speak outside of me? So if that's what you want, show it. A lot of y'all that have struggle getting women, which I'm not one of those people. You have to actually do it first, then I'll do it. I've never had to ask for submission. I come, I speak, they submit. I don't have to. That's not a conversation. I can talk with them about what type of submissive they are. That's about it. So that's good. So I get it. I think in a time where we've lost Kevin Samuels and we kind of associate it to health, I've always been confused as to why health is not the big deal. He's been gone for a while. And I'm pretty much going to run around and kick y'all in the mouth about that. So we're going to be about health, and you can talk all these same regular talking points, but they're going to send me, and I'm going to trash you because I need to shut the hell up about being. No, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to trash you because you're too stupid to be talking about health. I mean, about a woman's weight, and y'all niggas is fat. Like you could talk about how much the Ferrari you bought or the Lamborghini or the outfit you got, but your bitch ass can't do free push-ups by the bed. How much it costs to do that?
What, Leonard?
I'm tired of it. I'm tired. I'm absolutely positively tired because all you do is represent me. Every time you crack that threshold, every time you turn that camera on, you represent me. And what you're showing is that we are cowards and we weak and we can't control ourselves, but we men. How that work?
Let me say this, and I appreciate you for sure, Word Class. You know I do. We represent each other. And I hate to tell you guys this, for anyone that listens and think that they can divest. You can't. When you walk out, you are Black. And whether you are Black in America, in Brazil, in Colombia, in Ireland, you are Black. And our image travels. And as a Black woman that wants our image better, I care and I want to make sure that women like me that has lost weight, that has gotten it together, that we teach each other how, instead of just shaming. Shaming didn't make me lose weight. What made me lose weight is people caring about my health. Baby, you too pretty. And I was there, let me help you. You too cute to be holding an extra 30, 40 pounds. That's how I began losing weight. Not just someone sitting up calling me, you fat bitch, you fat. No, it did the opposite. What we're doing is the opposite. It's counterproductive of growth. You don't have to want to be with a woman in America. That's definitely fine, okay. But the ones that do, don't shame us. Let us do what we do. But our image matters to me. And I know that the healthy way of going about things is not necessarily just poking fun and shaming all the damn time. It got to be some healing. I told Alan this, there's a dog, and I saw this, a guy was speaking about his dog going through recovery. And he said, my dog was sick going through recovery, and the veterinarian told me that I have to remove my dog around sick dogs because he would never get well. What I have to do is get my sick dog around healthy dogs, and he will accommodate and acclimate to the healthy dogs instead of being around sickness. And what we're doing in the space is echo chambers of sick, of hurt, neglected folks. And we've got to show some healthy relationships, healthy women, healthy Black men. We have to show that in order to heal, unless we're going to keep continuing doing year after year of hurt. And that's completely counterproductive. Where is the healing? Unless you just wanting to monetize off our dysfunction, and then you won't show healing. And I am not going to take advantage of none of my people, because I damn sure don't want them to take advantage of me. All right, I'm going to take a couple more, then I'm going to be out. Dub Will, I know you got something, but Leonard, you've been here. What do you got to say for me, darling?
Oh, hey, how you doing? Enjoy what I've seen as of your channel, but let me focus. I got to focus on this weight thing, right? This weight thing. Okay. All right. Women have children. Women get larger. Okay. It is a scientific fact. Now, some can snap back and they'll be like, wow, just like me. Okay. I'm not a woman, but 40-year high school reunion, the 40-year high school reunion. I'll go to that. I'm the same size I was in high school. Same height, same size, 150 pounds. A bunch of other people then spread all over, right? It happens. Some people just don't have whatever that gene is that causes the spread. And childbirth causes the spread with women. It's like with my son's mother, okay? She was one size. We were married. Some years later, decided to start a family. He was born. She started spreading. Now, 3 kids later, you know, after divorce and everything, 3 kids later, she was like a size 4 or 5, something like that. Initially, now she's like a 22. It happens. Mm-hmm. You know, it happens. So these guys, well, she can't be this and she can't be that. And then, okay, if that's your thing, that's your thing. My rule on life is do you and be great. Now, if you fail, you can't blame anybody for your failure, okay? But yourself. Do you and be great at what you're into. But all of these well, this is that and that and this and this and da 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 da, and them Kevin Samuels talking points, and then you have the females using them other female, all that, like you said, dysfunction. That is generally what draws people in. See, and the reason I stayed so long, and I was just like, okay, I occasionally clapped silently, gave a head nod, the thumbs up. Your panels are conducted responsibly, whereas people are not talking over each other, and anyone that's listening can actually get the point that is trying to be made. And I really, really appreciate that. I appreciate that to the fullest. That's how it should be. But you got these. Oh, say again? I didn't hear you.
I appreciate you for saying that.
Yeah, because I mean, I've been on panels like, toss that in the recycle bin, please, miniature human. Yes, my grandson. Because I got you know, I have my grandchildren temporarily until you know my daughter that she retired from the military. 4 kids later, she spread. That girl was narrow. She was narrow as a rail. Now she weighed like 200 pounds.
Yeah. Okay.
But okay. Oh, she can't get a husband because she weighed 200 pounds. No, she's got a husband. She's been married.
Yeah. Let me darling.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna wrap it up. Dub Will, I see you, darling. We're gonna get you, but let me go through some of these super chats. And this is where I said the sickness in our community is. Go save Nigeria, Omawale. We need to talk. See, this is where we're sick. These two are Black men that want our community to work. If you don't agree, that's fine, but why? Folks talk about folks shaming people. Y'all have so many pages of people shaming the passport, bro, shaming this and that, when you're doing the exact same thing. These people and this particular guy, all he does is get on panels to degrade. And this is not healing. And then what happens is that he get a like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. An echo chamber of hurt. It's disgusting. Where we came and where we are right now is disgusting. Panels are just degrading folks because they think differently than you. If you don't believe in the debate, the talking point, okay, but move on. Mm-hmm. Unless you're doing it for money. And we got enough people using our culture for money for us to continuously to do it for ourselves. So I appreciate the super chat of your ignorance. And that just shows how much of a fool you are, because that $5 is going to go back into helping my people. So what God used, what man used for bad, God will use for good. So I appreciate the investment in your community. Thank you so much for that. Let's go back to some of these other super chats, and then I'm going to
Isn't it amazing how people pay to hate on you?
It's remarkable. It's remarkable. This space
maybe I need to start doing that. Make me a little money.
Let me be clear. This space is not for that. I don't get up here talking bad about folks. When I talk and stuff, I relate it back to myself. Now, a hit dog will holler, that's fine. But I know a thing because I've been a thing, I've done a thing, and I know when a thing is right and wrong. But I'm here to teach, and I'm not here to talk bad about people or bring down another woman. That's not my goal. And I'm too old. All right.
You said bring down another woman or people?
Well, do you want to do this, Game Changer? Bring down another woman is what I said. But
because you said that you're, well, I'm just trying to understand the goal here, because you're saying that you're not trying to talk bad about people and bring down another woman. So which one is it? Because men are people too. You're saying that you
just said it, and I know what you're trying to do, and it's not cute. Like, you're going to clip it up, but you said exactly what I said. I said people. You exactly what I just
corrected and said woman. I'm just saying.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. This is hold on. Because this is going to be a learning. This is going to be a learning moment, and this is why I am not. Let me be very clear. I am not doing panels anymore. I don't have time or the energy to make sure I make no mistake for someone to try to clip it up and do hour-long panels on trying to make someone look a fool. This is what this space has become. And they want to try to, oh, you heard she didn't say men. So let me make an hour, 2 hour long show of how she don't care about men. That's what they do in this space. And as a woman, we're not built for this. Mm-hmm. As a person that's genuine, and for people to come on a space to try to take advantage and try to pinpoint and hold and look at something that they could see that you make a mistake on to monetize, women aren't built for this. It is disgusting. Game Changer, you knew exactly what I meant. I said women, and I said people, and that's it.
I'm asking for clarity, but
I know what this. I know what this.
Let's do this. To be perfectly clear, do you feel the same way about men, not coming down on men?
What do you think, Game Changer? Honestly,
I think you're answering a question with a question.
No, I'm not. I want your opinion, because sometimes we ask questions that we know the answer to, and it's ridiculous.
My opinion. Okay, I'll share that.
Yeah. What is your opinion?
In my opinion, you're here to protect women. However, if the same argument was presented to men, there is no interruption. There is no counter to it. So, for example, if somebody was to come here and say something like, you men are fat, or I'm going to continue to talk crap about you men for not being fat, and I used to be 250 pounds and now I'm 150, I get the feeling that you won't say crap against that, because as your Freudian slip suggests, you're here and you're not going to go against women.
Sis, can I ask one question?
Hold on. Let me do this, because again, I understand. This is why I'm not going to do panels. Game Changer is you're familiar with me. You've talked about me plenty. Yes, I know. You have never, out of the almost 2 years that I've been here and the multiple shows that you've done on me from even months back, you've never said that. You have never, in the multiple shows that I've been on with Edward Anderson, you've never said that. So now all of a sudden, you're wanting to turn this into a whole nother narrative that you've known me for months, seen my show for months in, and you've never done it. This is the reason why I will no longer do panels, because people get on here, try to create a narrative. Let me show you something real quick.
Let's do this. If I
hold on, and then I'm gonna let everybody go, because I do have to go.
Okay.
Let me share. Can you guys see?
Yes.
So if you see my page, that I talk about Malika Andrews and her feminism ways and her attacking Black men. Matter of fact, the title says bashing Black men for sport 2 weeks ago. But I don't hold anyone accountable.
Well, I was asking. See, I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
Please, I know you didn't, because you're wanting to make this narrative, and that's not right.
I'm okay.
So hold on. Let me go. Married man says women are happy being alone. Married man is pandering to women. Lying, telling man saying that women want to be alone and they are happy. And I checked it. No, we don't. That's holding folks accountable. Fathers' rights with Kwame Brown and Mr. Palmer, talking about child support and the right of laws that men need. Let's go back down. Of the many shows that I've had about abortion, because of Kevin Samuels, showing women that was affected by Kevin Samuels, because we don't. As a matter of fact, me actually talking about Cynthia G and responding to her, and her talking about aborting Black boys and holding her accountable multiple times. The TikTok lady that rejected the new, I didn't know back then he was playing but I held that accountable because she was wrong. The TikToker trying to expose a Black man. You have the audacity to say that? In my multiple shows within the 8-9 months that I've just been on YouTube, Vivica Fox about which Monique and how she tried to weaponize femininity, Will Smith and the Jezebel spirit of Jada Pinkett, but you have the audacity to say that. This, again, a woman in her natural state understands that this space is not for her, because we have people that try to take advantage of it for $1. So I'm going to let Dub Will speak. And I mean, I don't even have to go through my multiple of my pages, the N-word, Joe Rogan.
Can I respond?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you. I greatly appreciate it. Okay, so I wasn't accusing, I was asking. And then when you asked your opinion, it was the opinion of someone who's not familiar with your body of work, as you just described to me. So basically, I was going off of what I heard right now, just now. So, I mean, why not have presented that when I was asking, you know, are you to protect men? And then at that time would have been an appropriate place to say, well, here is my body of work, and here how I discuss my intentions to protect both men and women. I mean, what you did right there was a ruse. I mean,
there's no reason to ask when my page is readily available. And
well,
when the narrative
but you're readily available, more so than your page.
Well, the
narrative, I mean, in this particular instance. But what I will do, because I do like your panels, I think that you just don't like me on it for whatever reason. And I just won't come back, but I do want you to continue to have them. I don't want you to stop having panels because you had a negative experience.
No. This ain't because of you.
Okay.
No, don't say that. This is the first time you came over here. So, hey, I appreciate you. I don't want to do panels because of this has happened to me before. And in order to protect my spirit, I am not going to be on things where I know people are not coming in good faith, when I know people are just trying to get you an I got you moment and spin it for a week.
Mm-hmm.
My spirit is not going to do it. My humanity ain't going to do it. I'm genuine about my shit. So let me get to some of these super chats, you guys. I'm sorry. And I don't want to miss it, but okay. Lord, y'all. Okay, let's go. Somehow the first hour of this stream made me question everything I thought I knew and understood about the manosphere. You really love the content. Thank you so much. My partner in crime, as always. Shout out Alan. Save your community, Black man. Save your community, Black woman, or STFU. I hear you, my brother. Man of Prestige, I love you so much. STFU, if you lack context and especially refuse to seek context, context matters more than words. I completely agree. My other brother in crime, the good man, Omawale Africa, thank you so much. The ministry is moving. Yes, Dr. Alan Obi, save your community, Black man, save your community, Black woman. My 2 cents, what's going on? 40 years of shame to men and 2.5 years of accountability for women. That's a conversation. I've already read the disrespect, but thank you for the investment of your community. You're blessing us. Omawale, Game Changer, just changed his tone after pulled up them receipts. The hashtags, of course. I hope you have a great day, Courtney. Some of these men are mama's boys who will carry that same toxic behavior they use to living around. Matthew, thank you so much. Don't know what this guy is talking about. CM is one of the rare women who call other women out for disrespecting men. Game Changer, no.
I know now. But I didn't know then. That's why I asked. I mean, because people are in the chat room saying do research. That was research. I was asking what you meant by that. Now, what you're accusing me of attempting to do was look for a soundbite, and I would have just not said anything and clipped what you said. That wasn't what my intentions were. I was literally asking for clarity. You refused to answer and asked me what was my perception.
And did I not answer you right now? Did you get an answer?
After you asked for my perception. Once again, I mean, you know, as opposed to answering the question, you asked the question that I answered.
Yes. This is the thing. Again, this is another clip, and I understand what you're saying because, again, nothing is new under the sun, and I understand the intentions, and it's not in good faith. But you cannot tell someone how to answer it. Context does matter. And the reason why I asked, because I knew where it was going. I didn't even have to answer that question. I showed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we got to get at the people. Stop all this talking, and I'm asking you now. No, let's show it. Let's show it. Mm-hmm. And I know that you've even responded to something about me when I was getting on and talking to Kayla. I've seen you talk about clips of me before on Lapeef.
Sound like something I do.
You did. So again, that's not in good faith because you've even seen me hold a woman accountable. But then you get on here and say that I don't.
Wait. Okay, then I don't remember.
All right. Courtney, hold on, sweetheart.
Courtney, I have a question. May I have 60 seconds? I won't say anything else.
I'm gonna wrap up.
Please, may I have 60 seconds? Okay, that's darling. All. I won't ask you of anything else.
Okay.
Okay. I gotta respond to Game Changer. Game Changer. You talk about fat and this and that. Okay, what you need to do first, you need to turn your camera on. Then you need to get in this position and start doing some of this. Start doing some of this. You got everything to say about fitness. Start doing some of this. Show the people something. I'm showing receipts, and I'm 60 years old. This is a 60-year-old man y'all looking at right now. 60-year-old man. Come on, Game Changer. You want to get some? You want to get some? You want to get some?
Okay. Okay. But this ain't what this is gonna be. Get your butt up now.
I'm just saying. I'm 60 years old. I know he's a way young man. Come get some, young buck.
All right, Dub Will, sweetheart, I've been trying to get you in. My apologies. What you got for us?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can.
that was entertaining. But I actually want to bring it back around to the original point of the video of the stream if I can. And I'm at work, so I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna drop off. Do you think there's a difference between being transparent and being vulnerable?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I think transparent is the ability of me to tell you for you to see in me so you can see me. Vulnerability is the ability to be able to take the risk of when you do. So I can be transparent to you guys and this, but me being vulnerable is me being able to take the risk of rejection. Me taking the risk of you not liking me or not wanting me anymore because of that transparency. It's me opening my heart to what I might not want for being transparent. So that's how I think I look at it. I could be transparent, but the vulnerability is being transparent at the risk of being neglected.
Okay. The reason I ask is because from what I've noticed about just in regular life, talking to other men and on these YouTube spaces, a lot of men are willing to be transparent to a degree, but not be vulnerable. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to know from a woman's perspective, especially since you're on YouTube and you do open yourself up a lot and you are self-admittedly a sensitive person, do you think it's necessary for you to be vulnerable in order to get your point across, or is it okay enough for you to be transparent to at least protect some sense of your emotional state?
That's a great question. I think that when I talk about helping the community and being community based,
I think that that is a sacrifice. And I think what we need to see is a Black woman doing exactly what Black women should have been doing, and that is being vulnerable. And my part of the community is me being that woman, and I take a lot of hits. But I think it's needed, and it's for the greater good. It's bigger than me. So because of that, and because I know that this space is not necessarily for a feminine woman, because of all the hits that you do take, and for the people that try to clip you up and make a mockery and a fool out of you, when your heart is pure, then I create a safe haven for myself. And I have a community of people that hold me down. That's the TJ Randolphs. That's the Omawales. That's the Alan Obies. That's my Terror Squad members. That's them that hold me down, and they know, baby, we got you, and you keep your head up, and they protect me. But it's needed. So I need to show vulnerability. And through all the people that are talking shit, I got to be above it and show how a woman's supposed to move. And that's with dignity and grace. Does anyone have any lasting things before I let you guys go?
I just want to say one thing. I appreciate you being vulnerable. It happens. A lot of these young men, they have a lot to learn about being with the women that they ask for. I've been on in this space, and part of the quote unquote red pill where I've had my child kept from me. I've dealt with the true blow of feminism, the interruption of a relationship between the father and the son. So I've dealt with the real problems, not getting women like a lot of you dudes have in this space. And again, like I said, this not a war between us, but I say that to say that we're on the same team essentially. But the accountability thing that we're throwing around, the math not working, and we got to get the math to the point where it works. And but I've had a show on my channel about right message, wrong target. Like you guys are practicing on the women that are in agreement with your principles. It's pretty stupid, but I'm not going to tolerate it. And a lot of brothers that's around me are not going to tolerate it. You ask for them to be here, you ask for change, they change, or they're willing to have a conversation. They in agreement, and they just don't have the skills and the habit right now. You have to help them do that like men are supposed to. So, that's what we're looking for. Looking forward to do, helping the young ladies that's in this space make and the older ladies that's in this space make the transition. You know what I'm saying? And so that's just pretty much it, man. I get it. We got the talking points. That's cool, but stop being a robot. Have real, genuine conversations. You sat there and asked her, game changer, why didn't she show that? Which, from an adult standpoint, why didn't you look on her page before you jumped on her panel?
Is that a rhetorical question?
Well, it's at the same type of quality that your question was at.
Okay, fair enough. Didn't want to.
Yeah. No, because we know it's fine. I'm gonna drop people out because I do have to go. I have to be in my. But I appreciate you. I'll see you on the flip side.
All right, peace.
Thank you. Thank you, Game Changer. This is your first time over here. And I'll say this, I appreciate our dialogue. I don't think we've ever really had a one-on-one. Ever. So thank you. And I truly mean that.
Well, thank you for having me. If you are to review this, know that it wasn't ill intent at all. And I think that you know that from like everything that transpired before the previous, before the most recent 5 to 10 minutes. I came on to discuss the things that you and I agree on. Apparently, and I don't know, I said something in the past that about you that you don't agree with, and I felt like you were being defensive when I was really trying to work on your side. To be perfectly honest with you. And you say that I was, I had ill intent or I was being disingenuous or something like that. And, that wasn't the case. Yeah, I was attempting to call a cap towards the end because the way I'm being treated in your chat room and things like that kind of made it appear as if you say that you're trying to create a space that's fine and, where both men and women can feel comfortable. Well, I most certainly don't feel comfortable, and it's going unregulated by, moderators, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So wanted to call cap on that reason. So yeah, I will confess to my intentions were to prove something that I already had a bias for in that regard. So, but outside of that, I did sense pushback. I'll review the video where we were talking before, or where I was talking about you before, to determine did I come at you? I doubt that I was if I was talking about an interaction that you had with Kayla and Kay. I will say that because chances are I was talking about them, not you, in a negative way, because I have a very low opinion of them. So yeah,
Well,
I just don't get it. But yeah, I don't want you to change the way you do things on my account. I'll just never come again.
well, I definitely didn't say that. And when I say I don't do panels, like even on a one-on-one. So, if my chat is going hard, I mean, I think the chat is mad disrespectful on both ends because my own chat, some of the people are not sub to me. Some of these people I've never seen before. Some of these people are attacking people that's not even on the panel. When they super chat about Omawale and Alan, you think that's my people? No. These people are unregulated. I don't know some of these folks, but my channel, my page has never been of drama. It's been of love, commune, and understanding. And sometimes we joke because I'm goofy. And that's what it's going to continue to be. So if you don't feel comfortable, understand, but I've never closed the door on you. I don't have a reason to.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I gotta go.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Goodbye.
All right. Well, it was an interesting conversation, but much needed. And I'm going to continue to talk about femininity for women, on how we can exhibit it more to being what our nature truly is, and the power that possesses, the protection and the love and the support that you get, especially from those that matter. That is priceless. I'm going to continue to go through anything through grace and poise and confidence, because that needs to be shown. We are getting it wrong when we are trying to be something that we're not. Take your armor off, women. Be a woman. That's going to attract your tribe and your man. Faking it is going to attract and I can go on a lot on what it attracts. So yeah, no more panels for me. I'm done. We got a whole lot of work to do. And my page I'm going to make this shit over here lit. Okay. I thank you guys so much. Thank you for joining me. I never know how this stuff is going to turn out. I don't know how they're going to clip it up. Y'all know I've been a clip queen all week long. Y'all, leave me alone, people. Leave me alone. I'm not saying anything too deep. Gone. Why is y'all keep clipping me up and Cynthia G is over there still talking about y'all? Clip her up. Divestors all over there talking about you, Dusty, but you want to clip me up that love you? It ain't making sense. You want to make panels about me that love and care for you, but you got women that want you dead. And you silent? Is there something else going on that I don't know? It got to be something else. Maybe it's because I changed my braids and my color. I took the blonde out and my nose ring. Bringing a new little energy over here. I ain't built for all of it. But because I know that I'm not built for it, not like that, I keep people around me that are. And when I can't do it and when I can't handle it, they do. And as women, that's what we need to learn. We ain't built for all this. Get a man that is. Anyways, I appreciate you guys. Shout out to TJ. Shout out to Omawale. Shout out to Alan Obi. My community. Be a blessing.